Oh man, so many difficulties getting this podcast recorded this time.
We almost didn't get to record it again.
Oh Jesus!
Sorry about canceling kind of late last time, but
it's no worries. It's fine. Life has been getting in the way a little bit this time around, which I figured was bound to happen.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good run, honestly.
We've been doing great. So because last quote unquote season, right? We had 10 podcasts, and technically we're still on track for 12 this time in this quote unquote season.
Wow.
Because we've been because there was a couple months last time where I was slacking off and I didn't get stuff done for a month and a half, and so but we've been on a nice clip. We have been recording like nobody's business.
Yeah, well, great. I mean, it's easier. I feel like it's easier to do the music ones anyway. It's less prep. I don't have to
it's funny. It is, but it's actually technically not even close to less prep. It's it's
easier though.
It's easier. I could do it in the background versus I have to sit down and watch a 2-hour movie, 2.5-hour movie versus technically it's 4 hours of music most of the time or somewhere close to it. But I could do it.
I'm really only spending an hour actually listening and taking notes. Whereas exactly. Most of it is just having it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just having it on in the background, which, and I mean, I listen to the albums way more times than I would ever watch them. We do a movie and it's I watch it the 2 hours and I'm like, cool, I hope I got everything because that's all I'm doing. Whereas the music, it's I've listened through each of your albums at least 4 or 5 times. And then I went back and listened to mine a couple more times as well. So, I mean.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I almost never listen to mine more than once, but I always listen to yours at least twice. Yeah.
I have to go back and listen to mine because I'm man, I know that I like this, but I don't know if I could talk about it unless I actually listen to it a couple times.
Yeah, for me, usually it's the case where it's how many I've listened to Gio Gotti hundreds easily of times, right?
Yeah.
I know that album so well.
The preparation for a dive is always a tense time.
Dude, I want to find that documentary so bad because I love that line. That is my I actually genuinely think that's one of the best parts of the album for me is that little volcano
Oh, I don't think it's actually that hard to find. I mean, I think I know the name of it. It's hang on. It's
I always search Dandelion Lava movie. No, and that never gets me anywhere.
Well, there's also this really great site called.
I think I found it. I actually did. Yeah.
It takes 2 seconds. It took me 2 seconds to find it. So I was about to say, it's actually not that hard. Yeah. There's also this really great, and it doesn't always have it, but there's this really great site that I've checked from time to time as you've been suggesting more of these electronic bands. It's who sampled, and a lot of times
really?
With the tracks, they will list where the samples came from, which is
that's
fucking
so cool.
Great. Yeah, I love that. But yes, before we jump into everything, how's it going? What have you been up to?
Oh, same old.
Fair enough.
I've been I picked up Caves of Cud.
Yeah, I saw you playing that.
Yeah, you ever heard of that?
I have not.
There's a it's another Seth recommendation from Seth Zanich, the YouTuber.
Okay, I'm not familiar with them, but
he's one of the millions of views video game review joke channel guys. That's one of those guys.
Got it.
A pseudo Total Biscuit esque character. But it's Kenshi crossed with Dwarf Fortress, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
Oh, wait a second. I looked this up. Yeah, it looked like Sci-Fi Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic, but it's post-apocalyptic, right? The world has had its apocalypse and moved on, and societies have emerged.
Mm-hmm.
And there's mutants and true kin, and you can play either, and it's just a really big. It's a static world, so unlike Dwarf Fortress, it's not all procedurally generated, although some of it is. But there is static elements to ground you. Mostly because the game is really hard, and there's a tutorial area, and then everything else is more random.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and then I've been playing Path of Exile, honestly.
I saw you playing Path. Jesus, man, Path of Exile. Yeah. Oh, you are a trooper. I can't. I have so much trouble getting back into Path of Exile. Have you been playing the seasons?
Yeah, of course. I only ever play the seasons.
Oh.
It's actually so I the new patch was really controversial, right? Like,
Okay.
they lost like 50% of the player base.
What did they change that made it such a controversial patch?
So they just made the game harder, essentially.
It
Just
was
like
hard enough. It was hard enough.
skills cost more mana, monsters have more health, all skills do less damage. Like, it was a 30% damage nerf, 30% mana increase nerf, like,
Dude, that's
monster
bullshit.
health increased by 50%.
That's
like,
bullshit.
They just made it really hard, and like,
Yeah.
I played it on release, and like, I gave up very quickly and went and played Caves of Qud for 2 weeks. But I eventually kind of got tired of Caves because it's very roguelike-y, as in like, you're gonna die and die and die and die.
Yeah.
And like, when you lose a level 20 character, which in that game is really high, it just hurts.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's time to take a break from Caves. But so I came back to Path, and I was just like, I had just gotten to maps when I quit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually started mapping, and it was like, oh, okay, wait a second. I guess I can still play this game. I'm just good enough that the changes don't impact me, essentially.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, you are definitely more into Path. I mean, you're much better at Path of Exile than I am, but like, fuck, like, I was struggling with the game, like, even in its like previous incarnation.
Yeah,
so like,
I think it was a bad choice. Oh my God.
I mean, it's like when they made, like, when Diablo 3 was initially released, and they're like, it's gonna be really fucking hard, and it's just like, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
You
I don't
know?
know. There's that obsession with it being really difficult for some reason.
I think that there's a level of difficulty that like makes you feel like, you know, you're powerful, and then there's a level of difficulty which is just unreasonably punishing, you know? And it's like, I don't go to ARPGs to get my shit kicked in, you know? Like, if I wanted my shit kicked in, I'd just play a From Software game. Like, that's I've already got that niche carved out.
Chris Wilson, like, he's literally like, him and some of the other founders are like coding a hard mode of the game, because they were like, okay, because like, you know, obviously there was a whole bunch of backlash.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to do damage control, and so they're like, okay, we'll like revert some of the mana changes a little bit, and like, we'll give you guys some scraps to like make you feel better about stuff. But we're also gonna make a hard mode that's even more difficult, and item drops even less. And it's like, man, they have an image of a game that never existed.
Yeah. It's like this game is being demanded by basically no one.
Yeah. So I for the first time, I left a Steam review where I was like, you probably shouldn't play Path of Exile because it's just a slot machine. And so like, I will put that recommendation out on this podcast as well, as like, don't play it. Like, it's not really like a good game. It is, but it's also a trap.
Yeah, I
shouldn't get trapped.
I will, and actually, maybe this is one of those times when it might be worth like actually doing, since I don't really have many video games like in the queue right now that I actually want to play. I need to drag you into like one season of Diablo 3 just to see what you think.
No,
of it.
I would definitely do that. I'd be willing to, whenever that comes up. Just let me know.
Because especially after what you just described, it will be interesting to see what you think of the exact opposite design language.
Yeah, I think I'll hate it, honestly. Like, I've been like, I have Stockholm syndrome. Like, I enjoy the pain now.
Yeah.
It's like, the point I wanted to make, actually, with my whole spiel, I forgot to say the end part, was like, because I started so late in the league, essentially, I like gave up the usual like rush that I have for like currency and like achieving economic dominance. And I just like played the game.
Yeah.
And like, I tweaked my build, and like, I'm using a custom build now. Like, I'm not using a build guide even. Like, I'm just winging it.
Look at you.
I'm just having fun. And it's like, oh, I actually enjoy this. I enjoy just like play. I forgot I could play the game.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can forget that is another reason I don't recommend playing it.
Yeah, I mean, all those games are. I mean, it's a Skinner box, you know. It's like,
it
ooh, but if I can only just get like 0.1% more on this item, then that will finally solve all of my problems. You just keep chasing that high forever.
Yeah. I'm exactly at that stage now, and it's like I'm looking for something else to play.
Yeah, fair enough. It's funny though. So you mentioned what is it, Kingdoms of Qud or Qud, right?
Qud, yeah.
And you just described that. And so in the intervening time, since I finished Dune, I've been able to actually, have time to watch anime again.
Ooh.
And we finished Dr. Stone.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've always wanted to watch that one. It seems really interesting.
Okay, well then I won't spoil anything or say anything, but Dr. Stone, you should absolutely watch. It's fucking great. It's just such a satisfying anime. Like, so watch Dr. Stone. I guess that's my other thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know some of it. I know there's like a competing evil scientist man or something to that effect, and then like it's inventing stuff, but I don't know details.
Yeah, I won't throw any details out, but it's just, I will just say that, like, if you want a show that's satisfying, Dr. Stone is satisfying. Like, it's just one of those, like, oh, this is good. I enjoy this very much. But other than that, so, I think the last time we talked, I had just started, or I was actually probably quite a ways through, what's the name of the fucking anime? Place Farther Than the Universe, which was great. Everybody said it was going to be, like, super sad, and I'm not going to spoil anything for those who want to watch it, but like I wouldn't consider it sad. I would consider it actually a very like good, like just like happy, like triumphant anime for the most part. So I don't know why everybody says it's like, oh, it's so sad. I mean, like there's sad parts, but it's not really sad. So if you're thinking about watching it, but you're like, oh, do I really want to be sad? It's not. I wouldn't.
That is why I have avoided it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Okay. That's it's no well, I think it was orange.
Yeah.
It's no orange. It's no Your Lie in April. Oh fuck, Your Lie in. I mean, I know I talked about it on this podcast, but Your Lie in April is just like
that's a bad one. Yeah.
I mean, it was great, but oh man, cried like a baby. But the other one that we watched is Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, heck yes. You watched Hunter x Hunter.
Dude.
That's amazing.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
You watched all of Hunter x Hunter?
Oh, yeah. We just blasted through it.
Yeah, dude. You blasted through over 100 episodes of Hunter x Hunter. That is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it took us a couple weeks. Well, dude, you watch like, I mean,
Yeah,
I
watch
eat
like
dinner.
4 or 5.
I eat dinner. Lauren and I sit down and we watch anime. I got my chips, it's like I got my tea and I'm just like, we're just watching, I mean, it's like, 30 minutes an episode. So it's like,
it's great.
You watch 4 or 5 hours in a night, you're knocking out like 10 episodes a night.
Like half
go through
an
like
arc.
a few. Yeah. So, oh dude, that was a fantastic anime. Like
one of the best.
I did feel like it, towards the end, like the ant arc dragged a little bit. Like I kind of wish that we had gotten some more time out of some of the other arcs and kind of trimmed that one up a little bit.
It's interesting you say that, because if you had asked me about Hunter x Hunter before you watched it, I would have told you to skip episodes like 75 to 90 or something. Like the beginning of the ant arc, where it's like you're following all of those minor characters around for like 30 or 40 episodes. It's like you can skip that and lose nothing essentially in the translation, and it's like
I mean, I'm pretty remiss to skip any episode of an anime unless it's like literally a recap episode.
But you think you probably could have though, right?
Looking
back on it.
But actually the thing that it wasn't that really bothered me. I mean, like it was a little bit like I guess I could say it was a little bit fillery, but I found it interesting. But it was actually the back half of the ant arc where it's like they spent like 10 episodes, 10, 15 episodes on like, 2 minutes of the battle. It was a little Dragon Ball Z. It was a little like, okay, and then tune in next time. It kind of felt like, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it kind of felt like they had finally caught up to the manga and they were like having to pad it out. I don't know if that's actually the reality or not, but it certainly felt like that, where it's like, oh shit, we caught up to the manga. There's no new content. Time to drag this way the fuck out. So,
yeah, I mean, it was, that is true, I think, in some respects, but,
and then it ended.
I don't like
really,
the Chimera Ant arc.
Yeah. And then it ended really abruptly.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. They had like 3 episodes to end it. Now, did it end satisfyingly? Yes. I felt like it was like, okay, cool. I'm all right with where this ended, but I could have done with more,
because the author got really sick. And so like he like did that in the manga too, is he like stopped for a few years, and so he did that. He did the tree ending, but he's doing it again now. So
I mean, hey, look, if they do another Hunter x Hunter, I'm 100% on board. So
yeah, oh my god, the first 70 episodes or so of Hunter x Hunter are just like pure like perfection. as far as like shonen battle anime go.
Yeah, the first 70 episodes are like everything that something like Dragon Ball Z like could be if it was paced properly, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't just like make up rules all the time and like
yeah, no, it just like everything just like I mean, it's just like hit after hit after hit. Like it was just like it went through at such a perfect pace, and everything was just like, it was just like,
it feels like one big climax. It's crazy.
It's fantastic. So yeah, if you've never watched all you peoples out there, if you've never watched Hunter x Hunter, drop what you're doing and watch it, because it's great.
It's amazing.
And then what we're currently finishing up right now is Haikyuu.
Haikyuu Emporium?
No, Haikyuu. It's the volleyball anime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Great.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's great. It's a sports anime. They're almost all amazing.
Yeah, well, I think that this is maybe one of the better ones, because it's like I've never felt like I wanted to watch sports as much as like this anime makes me feel. Like I know in my mind it's never actually this entertaining, you know, but like it's like part of me is just like, oh wait, I understand volleyball now, and I feel like I want to watch volleyball now. It's like, dude. That anime, it's like, it's I mean, again, talking about like something that is
I've not seen it.
Talking about something that's perfectly paced, like it's very.
I bet. I mean, good sport. I mean, you should watch Eye Shield 21. You should watch Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, they're all really good. Hajime no Ippo, especially, I would highly recommend, because it's about the same length as Hunter x Hunter, and I would say it's about almost exactly the same level of quality, where it's like the start and middle are amazing, and then like it's still really good at the end, but it's like it's tapered off a little bit.
Let me see if it's on Crunchyroll. Oh, it is. Well, then maybe I will watch that.
It made me think that I was into boxing for many years, when I'm really not at all, actually. I was like, yeah, I'll watch this boxing match. Oh wait, this isn't Hajime no Ippo. Oh,
yeah,
right.
This is not as entertaining as I thought it was.
Yeah.
By the way, just because we've had some horrible times with recording, you are recording, right?
Yes, I've been watching it the whole time and like adjusting my gain level slowly.
Oh, geez, that's actually, don't maybe try not to do that.
No, I only adjusted it once. Just
okay.
Once.
Yeah, because
it was like 5 minutes in.
That's a nightmare to figure out.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I was like, okay, I can only do this once because Jason can only do.
Yeah, I did that once myself, and then when I went back to edit, I was like, oh, this is a nightmare. Although that being said, I've learned things recently about audio processing. So what I have been doing with our podcasts is I've been normalizing them. So I've been taking the tracks and I've run a normalizer through it, which basically like essentially sets them to a comparable volume, so that, because for whatever reason my input is not loud anymore, even though I have changed nothing with my mic setup. So in order to bring my volume up to your volume, I've run a normalizer on our tracks. But I have recently finally understood what a compressor is.
Oh, I was about to recommend just like, you should be running it through a compressor. Yeah.
Yeah. So our last podcast, if it sounds better to everybody, it's because I finally found out what a compressor does.
Yay.
And the reason for this, which brings us very nicely into our next topic, is, and I mentioned this to you, and I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the thing that I put together, but I've gotten into recording music.
Oh shoot! Right. I did mean to listen to that, but I did totally also forget.
Well, guess what, Steven?
Yeah.
We can do it right now.
Yeah, great. Where is it?
Yeah, so I sent it to your email.
Oh my, yeah. Okay, that's why I never checked. It's like this will be the first time I've opened it all week.
Jesus, Murphy.
Yes, there it is.
Let me know when you start it.
Oh, it's MIDI.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was really good.
Nice.
I will even say I kind of forgot it was MIDI like halfway through.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like especially after the 2-minute mark, I'd say.
Nice.
Like it just sounded like, yeah. Once you started getting that like weird like going, that really elevated it. That was really good.
Awesome. So I bought a program called Reaper, which is a digital audio workstation. It's a DAW. And I've been watching the Kenny Joya videos, who is like, he's like the Reaper tutorial guy. Like, he's fucking fantastic. So shout out to Kenny. You're the best. I learned so much by watching your shit. So holy crap. But There's a bunch of like free plugins I used. Empty Power Drums plugin, which is free, although I did donate. Since if you get it for free, like you have to like every time you open it up, you have to like go through this splash screen. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I could donate $8 to not see this splash screen. So
yeah, that's very reasonable.
Yeah, and then I was also using the TAL Noisemaker and the fucking, I think it's Complete Control with a K, Mortal Kombat stuff, which is the free version of that, which are all fucking awesome. And I basically made it with those plugins, and I used my old my old keyboard. I bought a MIDI cable for it because it does support MIDI, and hooked it up to my laptop, and that's how I've been doing it. It's just, dude, it's great. It's like so fucking cool. I was like, oh, this is how you do this stuff.
Oh, so you're actually, you get to connect it.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so you can actually like play notes. I mean, you could do it with like a mouse and keyboard, and I'm sure some people do it that way, but having an actual MIDI controller, makes your life a million times easier, because then it's like, oh, I want to play an A or an F sharp. I'll just hit that key on the keyboard.
Yeah, I remember messing around with a MIDI controller with Mason a few times, because we recorded a few songs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But we always used the keyboard and mouse. never an actual keyboard. Yeah, that must be much easier.
It makes your life a million times easier, you know? Right. And it's like, yeah, I mean, so that's and that's also where I learned about compression, because I was like, oh, okay. You know, I was like, oh, that sounds like something that I should use for the podcast.
Yeah. Well, great.
So yes, exploring electronic music. So there might be more of that to come. I'll put that in the on the site. I'll put that song on the site for anybody that wants to listen to it in the podcast notes. So if you want to listen to my first MIDI song where I was just fucking around for a few hours, that's what it is. Oh man, but yeah. Other than that, I think that
other games or anything.
Actually, okay, I haven't been, but breaking news. So you probably haven't really been paying attention, but I've been kind of keeping an eye out, is patch 1.3, I guess, for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Yep. Another non-patch.
Oh, no. You say that, but, okay. Steven, they fixed the vending machine quest.
Oh, shit.
So I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I did test it like last night when I realized, oh, they're supposedly fixed this. I went and tested it, and I can continue the quest. So I am planning on finishing that quest now, since I wasn't able to.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's great. Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it might be placebo effect. Maybe I just haven't played the game in a while, but it did feel like it was running a little bit smoother. I mean, obviously, I would
damn well hope so.
I mean, I'm throwing a lot of hardware at it, so like
and it's had 3 major patches. If it's not a little bit better, I would be disappointed.
It feels like it was running like a solid at least 60 frames when I was.
Wow.
And I don't remember how bad that particular area was in the past, but it seemed to be doing all right. So I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll give it a shot. But yeah, that's the only other thing I wanted to mention. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been playing many games. I've been
just watching anime.
I've been watching anime. I've just been busy, man. Fucking just life, like just doing shit. So yeah, shall we jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. All right. So, what album would you like to discuss first? One of yours or one of mine?
We could do one of mine first, or one of your. I mean, let's do. What about we do Beach House first?
I had a feeling that was going to be the one. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, okay, actually, man, I'm just forgetting how we do this whole thing. This is how we do the podcast. Okay, so I recommended the 2 albums.
Right.
Bloom.
Right, yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Yeah,
we're all at a start. We're not recording at the normal time. Everything is fucking. If it's just ignore
all
us.
Different.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
Alcohol this time, so I'm gonna do this sober. I mean,
oh Jesus, Murphy!
All I got is caffeine with me. Oh, I might grab a Coke actually on our break though. That'll get me pepped.
Okay, cool. So I recommended the albums "Bloom" by Beach House and "New Moon" by the band Swallow the Sun. And what did you recommend, Stephen?
I recommended the album "Geogotti" by Boards of Canada. And then I made a mixtape for the other one.
Yes.
Because I never listen to albums ever. So I'm just going to have to do mixtapes occasionally. So we can get some of my actual like modern music tastes in. Because otherwise it's going to be like 20-year-old albums exclusively.
Yeah. So I recommended Bloom. I did think you were gonna like this. I don't know if you're gonna how much you're gonna have to say about it, but I did think you were gonna like it. Swallow the Sun, New Moon. I mean, I guess it depends, because it's Swallow the Sun. Like, they are. It depends on how seriously, I guess, you want to take it. How much you might enjoy it is, I think, how I feel about it. But I think that if you're willing to listen to what is at times sometimes slightly silly metal, then I think that you'd probably enjoy it quite a bit. And then
I think I might make you proud here for once.
There we go. Excellent. And then so why did you recommend GeoGotti?
I don't remember exactly why we recommended it. I just haven't recommended a Boards of Canada album to you yet, and that seemed wrong considering how much I like Boards of Canada.
It did seem wrong.
so that's like the they have maybe a better album than GeoGotti, but GeoGotti has like some real bangers on it.
Okay.
And I'm a banger focused listener.
Fair enough. And then you made a mixtape, and by doing that, I think that you are going to have to go through, and I think you're going to have to give me, you don't have to say too much, but just give me like a quick short justification for all 15 tracks on the album.
Oh, well, I figured I'd do that when we actually discuss it.
You want to do it then? Okay, that's fine. That's fair enough.
I mean, the structure of the album, of the mixtape, is considered.
Okay, fair enough. So what we'll do is, as we go through, I'll okay, that's fair.
I'll let you know why I added each song, because I do have a reason pretty much for all of them. Yeah.
Okay, and for those of you listening, and there is sometimes it seems like sometimes the if a video is unavailable, it'll be hidden. It looks like you can click and within the playlist, and there's like a show unavailable videos, so you can at least find out what it is and see if you can find another version of the track if you want to listen to it. But so let's talk about Bloom.
Yeah.
So what were your initial impressions on the album?
My initial impressions. I listened to it in the background first, so I don't really.
Okay.
It's a very chill album. And so like I took an actual listen to it, and my impression was like, oh man, this is very like like shoegazy. I'm liking this. I'm like, man, this reminds me a lot of dream pop. This is like a really I bet this is like really dream poppy. And I went to Wikipedia, and it's like, oh, of course, because they're a dream pop band.
Yes.
It's dream pop. This is like, I can't imagine a more dream pop album than this. It's like quintessentially what it is.
Yeah.
Like maybe a little bit to its detriment. I think it's maybe a little too homogenous sometimes. But it's great. I just went to the beach like a month ago. So I can say with 100% certainty that I could immediately picture myself listening to this while sitting on the beach or like in the beach house. Just like they succeeded admirably in both the dream pop and beach aspects of this album. And for that, I can give nothing but kudos.
Fair enough. Yeah, I came to this album through the song Other People, which is track 4. And I was like, oh, that's great. I wonder what the whole album sounds like. And then I listened to the whole album, and I was like, oh, it all sounds like that. That's great.
If you do, I did a little experiment where I just like went to the exact middle of each song to like hear what was happening at that exact time. And like a good 75% of the album, it's the exact same sound happening at that middle part for every song. It's like, yep.
They have a thing. They have a thing. Yeah.
They're doing it as hard as they can.
Oh boy, are they. And so I find this album a little bit frustrating because other than some other Beach House albums, which sound very similar to this, I've had a hard time finding anything else that sounds quite like this, because I really love the sound of this album. Like, for just something about it is just like, it's like, because I've listened to other shoegaze before, and I know this isn't technically, I don't know if dream pop counts as being shoegaze. I know that they're at least tangentially related at the very least.
Their Wikipedia lists them as like a shoegaze band. I don't know.
Okay, then
that doesn't mean anything, obviously, but yeah.
So because I've listened to trying to think of some of the shoegaze bands that I've listened to, but shoegaze was always, it was never the picture in my mind that I had when I thought of what shoegaze was going to be. And then I listened to this. I was like, oh, this is what I wanted. I wanted dream pop not shoegaze, I guess. And so, like, then I tried to listen to other dream pop bands, and maybe I just didn't find the right ones, but I could never find anything quite like this. And I was just like, this is like, But the reason why why I thought of, I was going to recommend this, and I brought it up in the queue based on last time and Sidewalks and Skeletons, White Light. They had that one song on there, I think it was Goth, that to me sounded very similar to this at parts, and I was just like, okay, well, I think you're going to like this then, because if you like that song, this song reminds me a lot of that, and except for it's a whole album of it.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I would put on, like, to read to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think I would ever want to, like, listen to this album again, though, as, like, an album.
I find that it's good. It is good background music. Like, it's good driving music. Yeah. Like, not in the same drive. It's like just kind of like chill road trip.
No, I could see this
music.
being a great road trip. Yeah, for sure.
And then doing when I'm working or whatever, like having this on in the background is fantastic. So yeah, it's definitely that kind of an album. I would say that maybe not as much of an active listening album as others, but I definitely like it as background music. And I mean, I like all the tracks on it. It's one of the things, like, I think one of the top comments on YouTube is like, every time the next song plays, I always think, oh yeah, this is the best song on the album.
Oh yeah, that comment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
I feel like I've heard a band exactly like this, and I'm really stretching my brain here while you're talking to see if I can figure it out. But I'm almost sure there's something like this that I know. Anyway, sorry.
No worries. There's one part in one of the songs. I got to find it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have notes on the album itself. I mean, I can talk about the songs if we want to move into a more specific, like, song by song.
Yeah, we can do that. There's one specific thing I wanted to ask you about. And I'll be interested to see if you have a note on this. But, like, the ending of Irene, which is the last track on the album.
Yeah.
Where it kind of, like, it lets that, like da 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 go on for, like, slightly over long. I think it starts at,
I'm there. Because I kind of got that it was like, it almost felt like it was slowing down a little bit as it was going, but I didn't get that it was like going too long necessarily. It just felt like a traditional fade out.
Well, what I mean by it going on too long is, like, whenever I'm, like, listening to it, I always like I get my, like, you get your, like, kind of little head bang in for, like, when it's going to go out. I always go in too early. I always think it's going to end just a little bit before it actually ends. I don't know what it is about it. It trips me up because I don't know if it's like it ends at a weird part in the measure or after a weird number of, like, counts. I've never actually counted how long it goes, but yeah, because it like the bass comes in at like 47:15 or around there. 47:15 on the total album, not 47:15 on the song. But, like, it always trips me up. I have such a hard time.
I thought you said at the end of the song.
Oh, sorry. What I meant is, that's towards the end of the song because the song ends pretty soon after that. Maybe we're talking about different parts.
The song goes on for, like, another, like, 20 minutes. What are you talking about? It's a really long song. It's like 20 minutes long.
Yeah, but all of that is silence until the bonus track.
Oh, right. But still, 47:15 is really... What time did you say?
So 47, I think it's 47:15.
Okay, no, 47:15. Okay,
maybe a little bit before. Hang on. Yeah, 47:13 is the okay. That's the 47:13 is the moment the bass comes in. But between from 46:30 until 47:13, it's like
Okay, I thought you were talking. I didn't. Yeah. Okay, I thought you were talking about the end of the album, not
Yeah. No, I apologize for the confusion. Yeah. So it's like it goes on for, like, I guess, what is that? 43 seconds. And it's, for some reason, it's like I always miss the timing on the bass coming in. It's just like it feels like it goes like a measure and a half longer than I expect it to do, like, to every time. And I've listened to this album a ton, so I don't know. I always like that kind of stuff where it's like where the music is ever so slightly tricking you. So
I like being. That's why I liked Dorian Concept so much.
Yes,
that tricks you a lot.
Yes,
that doesn't. I don't know. That didn't really. That seems fine to me. I don't really. If anything, it sounds like it kind of comes in too early.
Well, then there you go. But see, it's the same thing, right? It tricks you a little bit. It's different than you expect it to be.
Yes.
But yeah. So, what were your notes on the album?
So the first two songs I felt were like, I liked Myth. Wild was kind of, I don't know. I felt like I've heard the song Wild before somewhere else, like in another band at another time. I don't know. But then Lazuli, I love the intro to Lazuli. That really woke me up. That's a nice like break.
Oh yeah,
I love that little like
like the little arpeggio basically on the
so good. And that really like, and then the like the little like, you know, MIDI drums kind of come on.
Yeah.
It's like, like I'm having fun for the first time in the album, right?
Okay.
It's like, oh yeah, like okay, there's like they weren't just like high on fucking like benzos the whole time they were making this. They got a little bit of energy going. And then, you know, so Other People was the first song that you like listened to, right?
It was the first song, the first song that I heard by it came up randomly on YouTube and I was like, "Oh, I like this a lot." I basically like the cover of this album is very like eye-catching, you know, because it's so simple, but like it's just like it's a beach house and then like all these lights. And so like I kept seeing it pop up in my YouTube recommendations. I was just like, "Okay, you know, I'll bite." What is this? So I listened to it. I was like, "Oh, I love this. This is something that I didn't know that I wanted."
The vocals on Other People are really good. They're great the whole time, but the hauntingness here is really nice.
Yeah, I love her vocals on this especially. It's like, so you thought it would happen. It's like, oh, it's like I don't know. It's like really like
yeah.
I know that was very articulate.
No, I get you. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the vocals are great on all these songs. Honestly, I'm just like going through and like skipping through some of these songs. But the next song I really like that really caught me out was "Wishes."
Oh, Wishes is fantastic.
Again, it's that arpeggio. Like it's a little they got a little energy going again. Like and I appreciate that.
Let me find Wishes.
And the breakdown in the middle, right around like 36:10.
Oh yeah, that. Oh god, I love that shit. The other thing that always gets me is the transition from Other People to The Hours.
Oh shit, and I actually have a note about The Hours. My notes are in the wrong order. I'm sorry.
But you know what I'm talking about? That little tiny transition from Other People to The Hours.
Yeah.
Or it's like something. You know, like you know what I'm talking about?
It's literally something. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is great. Yeah, and then I love the that like vocal intro. That's very Beatlesy, I feel. It's so good.
I haven't listened to enough of the Beatles, man. Like I feel like because it's the Beatles are one of those like pieces of media like many other like, and I say pieces of media because I'm talking not just like musicians, but like I'm talking like TV shows and you know anything where it's like they have such a broad catalog that I'm like I don't know where to start and I don't know how much time I should be spending on this. You know, it's like I feel like it's like I could just sit down and listen to every single Beatles album and it really wouldn't be that much of an undertaking.
No. Don't do that. I've listened to plenty of the Beatles. Let me go look at their albums again, and I can tell you which ones to listen to. Because it's not all of them. It's definitely not all of them.
And that's the thing, and that's what I like. I feel like there's a lot of bands like that where it's like I need like a Sherpa like to take me through their catalog and just tell me what I need to pay attention to.
Hard Day's Night. Mm-hmm. That you should listen to that one. Sergeant Pepper, if you want to get like informed about like culture of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so two. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And if you want to listen to more because there's more. There's lots more. But like, those are the two that'll like inform you about what the Beatles sound like.
Fair enough.
They're good. I mean, I like them. I just, you know, their ideas have been explored thoroughly in the intervening decades.
Well, so, yeah, I mean, I know that going in. It's like, I'm going to hear this and it's going to sound incredibly derivative because they're the thing that was being derived from.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, some of their songs are still legitimately like, oh, wow. Like, no one's really managed to, like, quite capture that sound still.
Interesting.
Yeah, but most of it is just like, you're like, I've heard this.
So what else did you have?
Oh, yeah. So sorry. Yeah, I was out of order. So I loved the what's it called when you flex the guitar string? Like to
bending?
Make like a bending. Yeah. All the bending on The Hours. It's just like that whole song is just bending, right? Like that's what it sounds like to me at least.
Well, and also, I mean, like she's also like bending her vocals, you know, like, change your mind, don't. It's like that kind of thing, you know, where she's like bending her vocals along with like the bending that is also going on in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't even make a note about the vocals, but you're 100% right. Yeah.
I've listened to this album a shit ton because I just really, really like it. So
yeah, that song's great. Yeah, I love that. I love that whole sound thing. I don't have any notes about Troublemaker. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't. It must have not caught me on any of my listens through.
I think it's maybe one of the weaker ones on the album because like I also like I'm listening to it. I'm like it doesn't strike me in the same way that some of the other ones do.
Yeah, and it's also sandwiched between The Hours and New Year, which I love New Year actually.
Oh yeah, New Year is fantastic.
Yeah, just like yeah, it's a nice head bob. It's got like a good. It's going. This whole middle part really, other than Troublemaker, is great for me.
Yeah, it's got some really good hooks in there.
Yeah, they got some bangers, and I appreciate the bangers.
As you said, that's gonna be the title of the podcast. Appreciate the bangers.
I appreciate the bangers. Oh yeah, shit. And then On the Sea, which I also really liked, although it was definitely like I don't know. I kind of felt like On the Sea was the end of the album in a way.
I could see that. It's like On the Sea is the end of the album, and then like Irene is more of like an epilogue.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
go ahead.
That was my impression. That was it. Yeah.
I do. I like that. I like that like little piano vamp. I don't know if that's actually the proper term for what that is. I'm saying it's a vamp, but I'm not a jazz pianist, so I'm not going to I'm not going to get that right. Well, actually, man, maybe you're right. Rhythmic, harmonically simple, repeating phrase. Maybe I actually used a term correctly. But like like dun 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 dun.
It's like I don't know. For a band called Beach House, On the Sea is like. How can that not be the last song on your album? Like, I know there's an Irene song, but clearly that was like someone's girlfriend or ex or something. I don't know. That they threw in there for fun.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, no, I do agree. On the Sea does feel like it could have easily closed out on that.
Yeah, and listening to this album, I now definitely know I need to recommend The Suburbs by Arcade Fire next time.
Okay, and I did listen to some of that, but I didn't listen to all of that, and so I would be willing to do that one for a podcast.
Yeah, awesome, yeah.
Excellent.
Because it's very different than this, but it's the same. I feel like the overall vibe is very... It's a nostalgic vibe.
Fair enough. Excellent. So you would listen to this again?
I would put this on, I would put this on my iPod for like driving around... like doing stuff music 100%. Yeah, it's great.
Nice. All right. I'm 1 for 1 so far. Awesome. So before I forget, since I'll possibly get roasted in the comments for the last episode, so I want to clarify something. I went back and listened to the band Rosetta. They are not a math rock band. I was conflating them with another band, which was Rooftops.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Who has a song on their album A Forest of Polarity called, I think it's like Year as Lift, and I was somehow conflating that with the title of the album Wake Lift or whatever it was.
Yeah, Rosetta Wake Lift, yeah.
And completely just confusing everything. I found Rosetta around the same time I found Cult of Luna because I was looking for more bands that were similar to Cult of Luna, which Rosetta absolutely 100% is. It's like a post-metal, sludge metal type of band. They're great, by the way. I was like, oh, that's right. I love this band.
Yeah, they're really good.
I just forgot. I'm surprised. I'm surprised to hear you say that you enjoy them, considering your less than generous comments towards Cult of Luna. But
right. I like Wake Lift. I mean, I very well might not like it anymore, but it is something that I have on my iPod.
Okay, fair enough.
Red and Tooth and Claw. I think I like some of the songs on that album at the very least.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So let's move on to Geogotti.
Sounds good to me.
Did you...
We definitely didn't just time travel a little bit there.
Just a little bit of time traveling. Did you happen to see what I plopped in the It's True Brothers chat?
Let me even... is it Gyroscope? That's the one that sounds exactly like that? Or is it...
Dr. and Donuts Lab.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm trying to guess the song that, like, inspired you to post that from the album. Because I agree. There is a song that sounds exactly like...
No. It's Ready, Let's Go.
Oh, it's Ready, Let's Go.
Okay, but listen to what I put in the chat.
Oh.
It's not Dr. and Donuts Lab. It's Dr. and Donuts Lab CD version.
Oh, wow.
Are you understanding what it is? It's Dr. Andonut's Lab layered over Ready, Let's Go. They're playing at the same time. Because I was listening to Ready, Let's Go. I was like, wait a second. I was like, is this Dr. Andonut's Lab? And then I listened to Dr. Andonut's Lab. I'm like, no, it's not. But then I looked it up, and people are like, oh, but there's this thing called Dr. Andonut's Lab CD version where somebody overlaid Dr. Andonut's Lab with Ready, Let's Go because there are no new ideas on the internet.
Interesting. Because I think the album in many parts does just sound a little bit like Earthbound.
It very much does. I mean, as soon as I opened up, I was like, oh shit, it's Earthbound. I was like, this fucking rocks.
Yeah, someone fucking, like, there's an entire band that just makes Earthbound music.
Yeah. Although, we'll get to that because apparently that's Graham Cartna, but let's continue on.
Oh man, you've done your research. Wow.
I did my research, man.
Okay.
I'm a researchy boy. But no, so I find this album. I'm gonna just let me just start out with saying I liked this album. Okay, like let's just
good. Everyone put their pitchforks down.
Put your pitchforks down. I liked this album. This was a good album. Every time I listened to it, I was happy that I listened to it. I have trouble talking about this album because I have trouble getting the songs into my brain in such a way that I can actually like have a reasonable conversation about them.
Mm-hmm. It's an album. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're all good, but like I have to like go back and actually like listen to parts of it to be like, oh, that's right, that's how that sounds, and that's how that sounds. But like all the little transitions in between. I mean, we did the thing earlier. It's like, the preparation for a dive is always a tense time.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's just the album is just like the atmosphere is this like amazing like dream. It's very dreamy actually.
That's okay. I think that's a good way to describe what I couldn't put my finger on. It's very dreamlike is what this album is.
We ended up doing 2 dream pops by accident here.
Yeah, except for this is heavy on the dream, low on the pop. So.
Yeah, very low on the pop. Although still a little bit of pop.
There's still a little bit of pop. I mean, that's the thing is like this is a catchy fucking album, while also being incredibly interesting. And just like it puts you in a very interesting headspace. We'll just put it that way. But I'm just going through here. I liked a lot of the songs on this album. I'm trying to think of there's a couple on here that I was kind of on, but like then there's also some where I was just like, oh my, like Alpha and Omega, for instance.
Yeah. Oh, good. I have a note here. Alpha and Omega goes hard.
It goes real hard.
It goes so hard. And Don Chorus. Don Chorus goes fucking hard.
Oh god, that's fantastic. Yeah, Magic Window. That was a little bit of it.
Magic Window. Wait, let me catch up with you here. Which one is that?
That's the minute and 30 seconds of silence.
Oh god. Oh yeah. I barely even like. I see the little tiny red lines in between the bigger red lines, and I'm like, okay, all those little red lines are essentially ignorable.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna skip right over all of them. Because they're just transitions, which are very important when you're listening to the album. But although I do love opening the mouth, I mean it's such a good, it's so good. The whole thing is just so good.
Opening the mouth.
Yeah, right between the 35 minutes, right after the beach and right before Alpha and Omega.
Let me listen to that for a sec.
Yeah,
that is really interesting.
It's so nice. There's a whole band that sounds like this, by the way, called Woob. Which if you have never, I wouldn't ever recommend it for the podcast. So I would just check it out one day. It's just like really great, relaxing listening music.
Fair enough. But yeah, Music is Math, like right off the bat, it hits you hard. It's a good track. Like I really like, I love that transition, like right from, Ready, Let's Go into it. That just like, I don't know. It's like, it does have a really good, like all the transitions on this album are just so perfectly done that it really, I mean, like you said, it's like, it's not, I don't think it's a concept album necessarily, but it certainly reads like a concept album.
It's what all album, like, whenever a song ends with like a fade out or like something like that, where it's like, they didn't really end it. They just like pretended to end the song. It's like Boards of Canada don't mess with that shit.
No, not at all.
It's like even the spaces between the songs are full, like, realized pieces into themselves almost. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm just listening to music. Oh yeah. Like when the drums come in Music is Math, like I was already hooked. I was like, okay, this fucking rocks. Like I'm very happy with this already. Yeah, Beach at Red Point. I'm just trying to find the tracks that I found were somewhat weak on this. Devil's in the Details, I was kind of on. I was also kind of on Gyroscope, it's not that it's bad. It's just like it's the most kind of like repetitive and weirdly kind of like it's just kind of a strange track. It almost feels like it could have been.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, Devil in the Details. I just like it because it reminds me of being in like Earthbound, in like Saturn Valley or something.
Oh yeah, it does have that kind of like strange like yeah.
It's like that's Saturn Valley to me, and I just like I can't.
Yeah, this album
like
really
Saturn
is
Valley.
very Earthboundy.
Yeah, it's great. It's a band that makes Earthbound music that's like actually legitimate, like good music, which is crazy because Earthbound music's pretty darn good already.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, yeah, like Earthbound music. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I would even say. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around a lot here. But
no,
like,
go for it.
To what you were saying earlier about Gyroscope is like, yeah, I would consider Gyroscope almost a transition song.
Yeah, and
like,
it goes on a
barely
little
a song.
overlong for me.
Yes.
Like, it could have been a shorter track, but like Sunshine Recorder, Julian Candy,
Yeah.
1969.
Yeah, dude, 1969. Julian Candy, 1969 is like, that part of the album is just like, yes, right? Like, it's so good. It just doesn't stop.
But yeah, like Alpha and Omega, though, like when that comes in, like, I can zone out for some parts of this album and like enjoy it in the background, but zone out. But like when Alpha and Omega comes on, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
this
you're
is
listening
now. Yeah, I'm trying to find the point where it really like kicks off, but like because it's like it starts like yeah, it's 37:21 on the whole album, but it's like what is it? I mean, it's a terrible rendition of that, but imagine if you will what I'm talking about. It's that. So yeah, What I struggle with this album is that I feel like I don't have the proper vocabulary to describe it. Because go ahead.
Oh, I was just agreeing that it's crazy electronic music.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's not something you can like get stuck in your head easily.
Yeah,
because it's so complex and layered that you can't do it.
And it's one of the reasons like why I am more interested now in exploring because like I didn't really realize like how much you can do with like with MIDI and with samples and stuff like that. There is a lot there that like it's. I mean, I knew it was complex, but I didn't really realize like I guess how powerful the tools are to create that kind of stuff.
More powerful, yeah.
Yeah, and like I mean, like all the stuff that I've been researching and learning about in like Reaper is just like it's I want to get that vocabulary. I want to have a better understanding of what's happening with this stuff because when I talk about like metal and when I talk about math rock and stuff, I mean I have the vocabulary to talk about these things. I know how to play a lot of this stuff. I'm not as talented as most of these people. Like I mean these are fantastic musicians that are doing all this stuff and like I mean like they do stuff where I'm just like fuck. Like it's like I'm like can I just give my guitars to you because clearly they shouldn't belong to me anymore. Yeah. It's like they're being wasted here. But like
there's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, but I understand the musical vocabulary. Like I understand how to talk about guitar music and what people are doing at different points. I understand how to talk somewhat about drums. I'm not a drummer by trade, like I know what a paradiddle is, I know what a flam is, but like I'm not.
Okay, wow. Show off.
Look, all right.
Paradiddle and flam. Are you sure you're not talking about like a Rick and Morty sketch or something?
You're a Rick and Morty sketch.
Yeah. I wish. I'd be really well paid if I had a Rick and Morty sketch.
Sounds like something Rick would say. Yeah, I'd be really well paid, Morty, if there was a Rick and Morty sketch.
Yeah, I'm not.
That was a horrible Rick Sanchez impression. I don't know, Rick. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so
that was a derail.
Yeah, that was a big derail. But like, I have.
No, I agree.
I have the musical vocabulary. I know enough about how shit works in like, a 4-piece that like I can talk about this stuff. I love what Boards of Canada is doing on this album. I have a lot of trouble describing exactly what it is that they're doing that I like.
Yeah.
And I want to get better at that because I like, you've introduced me to this magical world of electronic music that I wouldn't have necessarily listened to on my own. I don't have anything really necessarily against electronic music. It's just like, usually the shit that I like, YouTube recommends a bunch of fucking metal stuff to me because it's what I listen to. They recommend a bunch of math rock shit to me. That's what I listen to, So it's like, that's what comes up. And I haven't really dipped my toes as far into this as I think that I could have. So you're remedying that, and we're going to continue doing that in the future.
Words of Canada is also that's a high bar of understanding. Like you're starting on the tip of the mountain essentially. It's like, there's some easier, like, listen to like not like, I don't know, like Music from Mars by Aphex Twin, and like really get that bass of just like one fictional instrument instead of like 12, which is what's happening on every Board of Canada song.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so interesting seeing these things come together, because like even when I was like, I was watching those Kenny Joya videos, and like, he starts putting together like a MIDI track, right? And it's like, at first it just sounds really hollow and like lousy, because you're starting it with a few instruments, and he's like, all right, now I'm going to layer this on, and I'm going to throw a little bit of this on, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, this now just sounds like a real song, He's like, let me bring down the mix here, bring up the mix here, going to put that to the right, put that to the left, now we got a little stereo effect, and I'm just like, oh, this is how you make music sound good. Like, you layer shit and you play around with it until you get it nice and nestled into the mix. It's like, okay, I think I'm starting to understand a little, because and maybe that's it. Is the problem that I have is I understand quite a bit about music performance. I have spent most of my life doing music performance, not necessarily to an audience, mostly just to myself and to the cats outside, as they're pawing at my office door, and I'm like, there's a bunch of instruments in here. I'm not letting you in here. It's like, I cannot trust you with any of this stuff. But
they just want to love you.
Yeah, and they want to love all of the wires and all of the things, and they want to destroy the world.
They will love those.
Oh, they will love them. They will love them to death. But I don't understand as much about composition. And I think that, like, that's the thing with electronic music, is electronic music requires you, like, if you want to talk about it intelligently, I think that it requires you to have more knowledge of actual composition and like how you put together something. And it's something that I want to learn more about in the future, So I'm going to keep fucking around with like learning composition and recording music and trying to like understand. It's like, what do the fucking producers do? What are these?
Yeah, I was going to say, you've stepped into the world of producers.
Yes.
That's what matters now.
Yeah. Producing and composition, it's like composers and producers, like, they're doing some really interesting shit that, like, I'm only now just beginning to understand the vocabulary of, and I think that this is what you're recommending to me is really helping me to start to appreciate that on a more technical level than I was appreciating it before.
Oh, well, great. I'm glad I can help broaden your horizons. I'm just throwing the same bands that I went through, essentially. Although I am skipping you pretty hard with that mixtape. That mixtape's a big jump.
Yeah, you're just throwing a bunch of shit at me on that one.
Yeah.
But yes,
I got impatient.
It's cool, man. I understand. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this. I like I said, I'm struggling to talk about it a little bit, but I really enjoy just like how varied this is. It's like all of the because like that's, I mean, it's very similar, like you said, to that Delta Sleep album in the sense that like this is all like it all ties together nicely and it feels like a coherent album without every track sounding the same.
Yes.
Like there's not really much of like a leitmotif running through this in the same way that like, the first concept album I listened to, Scenes from a Memory. It's like, I mean, I like Scenes from a Memory. I think it's a fine album, but like it is very much like a music theater production.
Play. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you got it. It's a play, and it's very themed. Whereas this is not so much themed, but it feels coherent in the same way that Delta Sleep album sounds coherent. No, the tracks don't really. There is a couple of like reoccurring themes, but for the most part, the Delta Sleep album was very, very diverse in the same way that this is very diverse. Which
that actually something I meant to say for the Beach House album, which I forgot. This is a quote from one of the members of Beach House, which is, they were talking about one of their albums, and they were like, we want to like be an example of like counter internet culture of like people caring about like big bombastic stuff and quantity over quality, right? And we want to be more subtle. And it's like, that album is really subtle. And like, I think that whole idea is like, it's there's no explicit theming, right? It's like, it is the theme of it is the structure of the album and like the songs.
Yes.
And it's all one thing, and it's a lot more subtle than having a play in your album.
Absolutely. So I think that's all I have to say about Gio Gotti, did we want to move on to Swallow the Sun, New Moon?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm really glad you liked Boards of Canada.
I'm really glad I liked it too, because if I didn't I
have
feel
to
like
crucify you. That would have been
Yeah.
just no good. I would have been a lot of work.
Wood is expensive right now.
Yeah, and I'd have to fly all the way in. I'm not planning to fly for another couple months at least. Like,
Yeah, oof, it's rough, man. I'm sorry to hear. So yeah, I'm glad you didn't have to crucify me. I mean, we have space in the backyard, but like, you know.
yeah. No, I would have done it though.
I
would
know.
have had to have been done. I'm sorry, but some things, transcend blood.
It's understandable. All right, so what did you think of Swallow the Sun?
I think it's time for you to listen to Catatonia.
Okay, I have listened to Catatonia.
Okay, well, great. I mean, yeah, this was great. The parts of it that I love the most are the parts that remind me the most of Catatonia, and I really liked those parts. I'm not so much a fan of growling, as you know, with this kind of metal. I don't know. These weren't the most impressive growls I've ever heard, I guess. They sounded very just like death metal growls.
I mean, this is like,
which I know they are.
Swallow the Sun is like when I say Cookie Monster metal, like Swallow the Sun is Cookie Monster metal.
Yeah, okay.
But like,
yeah.
if you can and if that bothers you, it's gonna bother you the whole album. But like, if it doesn't bother you, it isn't. You're just gonna because
I would say it only bothers me half the album.
Okay.
So there you go.
Did you appreciate the first track?
No. I in fact, my note is pretty normal metal intro ? Just like I mean, I'm skipping through it again to see if there's something obvious. It's like, yep, this is.
So you didn't read the lyrics for that one?
Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to read lyrics? Was that part of the deal for this one?
It's I'm sorry. I should have said.
Forgot.
I thought I mentioned that this.
No,
I
think you did. I'm almost sure that I'm the one who forgot. That's generally how my life goes. But no, I did not read any lyrics. What am I missing?
I mean, just look at the lyrics for that, and I'll give you like 2 minutes, and you tell me if you could figure out what I'm
Is it like literally like Twilight bashing? Is that the?
No, it's better than that.
Oh, okay. So the new moon is the sun? I'm sorry. I quickly read it, but I didn't get it.
Wow. Hang on.
Oh wait. Oh no. I'm reading New Moon, not Swallow the Sun.
Yeah. No. These woods breathe evil. That's the one.
These woods breathe evil.
I'll give you a hint. Third verse. First line.
The owls are not what they seem. Yes, that did stick out to me, but I'm not. Oh, Twin Peaks. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
This whole song is Twin Peaks. This whole song, from start to finish, is literally.
Okay, Black Lodge is a way bigger hint. Yeah, Black Lodge and Red Rooms. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Sorry. Nope. Yep. Didn't get that. Didn't read the lyrics. That's cool.
Grasp the soil from the tomb and cover my face with this
let me
face.
see if I can understand. Let me see. Maybe I can understand them now. Oh God, it's even more unbearable when I can understand the lyrics. Oh God, need to close those.
Yeah. Okay. That's the thing, right? It's like It's Swallow the Sun is a little silly. Okay, it's a little silly, but if you could get past that, if you could just accept that's like this is just silly, fun metal, like. I think that this album fucking rips.
So I really liked a lot of the songs on this album. I would agree with that. I just
it's corny.
It was better when I couldn't understand the lyrics because then it just sounds like noise.
Yeah.
But when I can understand the lyrics, it's like, man, he's really he's making that sound with his throat. And, not just embarrassing himself. I don't know how that's possible. My face would be so red and I would have to leave the stage immediately.
It is
made that sound
super Cookie Monster.
It's so Cookie Monster. But the next song, Falling World, right? The song right after These Woods Breathe Evil is amazing. The lyrics are great. Not the lyrics, the vocals.
Oh yeah, when he does clean vocals.
Good, clean vocal and suddenly the song sounds like a really good Catatonia song. I'm sorry, I like Catatonia and that's the only reference I have for this kind of music, so I'm just gonna keep comparing it to that. But it's really I like Falling World. I liked actually some of the Growl songs were good, I'll say as well.
Yeah, I think some of the height of the silliness is Sleepless Swans in terms of growls is almost the most ridiculous.
I guess I don't like these growl vocals very much in Sleepless Swans. That is a note that I have written down.
Yeah, even for me, that one's a little bit like, it's like, Sleepless Swords. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I was okay with it up until Sleepless Swans, and I was like, okay, no, this I can't pretend like I like the vocals, the growl vocals. This is too much. But Better in Lights and Lights on the Lake. I mean, sorry, just Lights on the Lake. I don't know why.
Lights on
I
the
like
Lake.
That.
There's
That's
the
a really
female
good
vocalist.
song.
The female vocalist in that, she's fantastic.
But even the male vocals are good. Like the growling is great on this song. Like I don't mind that because I guess it's the double bass. I don't know, something about it. Like it's like, oh, double bass. Yes, okay, growling's okay now in my mind. I don't know why that is, but that seems to be because I'm listening to it now and I'm like, yeah, this sounds kind of the same, but the double bass really like.
And to be
it
fair,
makes me okay with it.
there are two types of growls. Well, so there's like black metal screaming on this.
Yeah.
And
okay.
then there's growls. And I like the black metal screamy bits more than the growls on this.
Maybe that's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
The growls are ultra Cookie Monster, you know? Yeah, it's like, it's like that kind of stuff. It's like, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm down with that on this. It's like the Cookie Monster, like, stuff that's like, okay. But,
yeah, but it's still, I do like this song, though. This is a good song, Lights on the Lake. I enjoyed this one. The whole thing. Even the silly Cookie Monster vocal.
I feel like this band also, I mean, they're described as Death Doom, but
yeah, I didn't think that was right at all.
Well, no, this is Death Doom. Like if you've listened, because I mean, Catatonia is also Death Doom.
Is it? Is that what it's considered?
That's what it's considered. And
I consider Catatonia like a rock band almost.
Catatonia is a Death Doom band. I mean, they have some other like labels applied to them, but I think primarily
that's weird. I think of them as like a rock band primarily. Honestly.
That's hilarious.
Just like that's okay.
So oh well, okay. The Death Doom was early albums. That's fair
okay.
enough.
No, yeah. So Viva Emptiness, yes, that's what they're new, where it's more gothic metal. Yes, that hard rock. Yeah, that sounds more.
That's fair enough. So what this? I mean, this band is described as Death Doom, but if I was really to describe it, what I would probably call it is gothic blackened Death Doom, and that's the most vomity metal genre garbage that I could possibly come up with.
That does tell me though what it is. That's pretty good.
I think that's accurate because it's like, I mean, this is I would argue very strongly that at least this album is blackened Death Doom because it's got blackened vocals, it's got those kind of like black metal blast beats and all that stuff. It's Death Doom, and there's another band that I'm gonna recommend to you that's different from this, but I found them around the same time, called October Tide, and you're just gonna have to get over the Cookie Monster vocals because it goes hard and it's great. I'll give you some time before I recommend it, but I'm gonna recommend them.
Yeah, I mean, I like fully half of the songs on this album.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for that because I think this album is fun. That's what I'll describe it as. And I think that's what I like about Death Doom is it's all of those bands are fun. Cuz I'll explain the Death Doom bit a little bit because I feel like when I originally heard of Death Doom and when I came to listening to Death Doom stuff, I thought it was going to be more doom and less death, but it's more death and less doom. Like all of the when they're called
uppercase death, lowercase doom.
When I hear these bands, basically it's like if you took death metal and slowed it down by like 50%. Like not as like plotting as like, you know, a lot of doom bands are. It's like it's just slightly slowed down death metal. So it's like, you know, instead of just like, you know, just laying into it, you know, in crazy fast stuff. It's like it's basically it's like groovy death metal is essentially what it sounds like. It's groovy death metal, which means that like all the hooks are so good and like they work much better, you know? Yes. And like it's I don't know. And then, you know, like layering on top like the gothic elements of this, as we discussed in the last podcast, you know that I love. And then like throwing some black metal vocals and some black metal blast beats on top of this. It's just like a smorgasbord of shit that I like in metal. So
yeah, and it, like because it is a smorgasbord, there is something to like, even for me, who is not a fan of the Cookie Monster. Like again, New Moon, the one right after Lights on the Lake, great. love it, banger. Just like the like the guitar riffs, especially in like the last third of the song, where he's just like he's just going at it. It's just like, yes, I'll take it.
Hell yeah. Let me listen to that a tiny bit here really
it's
quick.
like right around like 3 minutes, or even earlier, really. Yeah, 2 minutes 45 even. Yeah, that's where it starts.
Oh yeah. It's just that super like ballady metal type thing, you know?
It's almost power metal-y.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean like this is almost power metal-y.
That's all of the songs that I like. I'm like, man, this almost kind of sounds like Falconer.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
It's corny. It's great, but it's corny. But the one that I think like musically is just like the most killer is the one right after that, Servant of Sorrow.
Yeah, I'm just skipping through it so I remember it.
If you get to like it's around 32 where the drums come in.
Oh, but even now though, like, yeah.
Because the drums are slightly like it's like they're playing. I think they're playing slightly across the measure.
Yeah, no, they're doing like a counterpoint or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just like it works so well.
For that. Yeah, it's so good. No, yeah, this and like and the guitar answering the drums like that is just like so perfect. Yeah, and that whole song is like that, right? They got that thing going on. Oh, it stops at the halfway point. Yeah. Yeah,
but it's just like, I mean, that one, every time it comes on, like I start paying attention again. I'm like, oh, this rips.
Yeah, no, actually, I do. I didn't note this song down, but you're right. This song does rip. I looked this over a little too much. Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that like almost Opeth-y, like, oh, we're going soft for a second bit.
What time on that one?
3 minutes 30.
Oh yeah.
Just like really slows down.
When you use that sparingly, it's so effective. I know Opeth overuses it to death. It's like play the line with acoustic and then play the line with electric and then switch back to acoustic and then switch back to electric. It's like, and I love Opeth. Like Opeth, they're great. Some of my favorite death metal songs are Opeth songs. So like no shade on Opeth, but like, my God, did they overuse that in their like super death metal-y stuff?
Yeah, I mean they like discovered that gimmick before anyone else, I feel.
Yeah, I don't know if they are necessarily the progenitors of that, but my God, did they go miles to popularizing it? Yes.
Yeah, they I feel like they are the reason it's popular.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, Opeth is people are gonna like steamroll me for this, but like shut up and fucking listen for a second. Opeth is, I think, one of the greatest death metal bands. And I know that there's a ton of great death metal bands.
Man, I'm going to get an earful from so many of my friends for that statement. Yeah, thanks, Jason.
But like fucking Deliverance is an insanely fucking good song. Like, it's insanely fucking good. Like, if you just listen to that, you're like, oh, okay, this is probably one of the great... I mean, what Opeth does... And I know this is digressing from the topic that we're talking about right now, but like
we're talking about a metal band. It's close enough.
What Opeth does with their breakdowns, like, is just nothing short of incredible. Almost every one of their songs that has a good breakdown has one of the best breakdowns in metal. And I think Deliverance, quite possibly, is the best like outro breakdown ever done. Like, full stop. And I've listened to a shit ton of metal, and every time I go back to Deliverance, I'm just like, oh, that's right. This fucking rocks. This is an incredible fucking... sorry, I don't know if it's actually the outro. It's actually... Where is it in Deliverance?
Yeah, I'm listening to it. Oh, no. It's like 7 minutes. 7:45, right? Is what you're talking about? Because if it's not, this part is also amazing. Oh, my God. This just reminds me of, like, being on the bus in middle school, though. Which is when I listened to Opeth, by the way. That's what I was getting up to. It's like a 12-year-old.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like popcorn death metal.
No. 9 minutes and 50. No, it is 9 minutes and 50 seconds. It is the outro to it.
50 or 15?
50. 50. 9 minutes 50 on Deliverance.
Oh, this part. Yeah, this part is fucking banging.
When I saw this live, it was just like, oh God. I mean, this was cake, you know? So it's like,
oh, yeah, I bet.
It's like fucking like this outro. It's just like they could play this for like 20 minutes, and I don't think I would get tired of it. Like,
I mean, I used to listen to the song on repeat for this
because it's fantastic. Yeah, it is a great. I mean, I'm gushing.
It's cheating though.
It's cheating. So
this is cheating. Like,
so for those of you that are like,
they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So for everybody that's like Opeth, you're playing. It's like, fuck off, okay? Opeth is still great. There are other really great death metal bands, and I'm saying they're the best death metal band ever. But god damn it, they are very close. They are very close. And I think Deliverance quite possibly could be my favorite like death metal song of all time. So just saying. But actually I want to ask, are you actually familiar and have listened to the band Death?
Yeah. I've listened to both Deaths, in fact.
Well, yeah.
Two.
There are two. I think I actually recommended the other one to you a long time ago.
Yeah, I think you might have done it. I love that band. I love the like anarchist, like all black punk rock band from the 70s that like original, like, yes, like of course that's an amazing band and I love it.
And they're fantastic.
Yeah, they're really good, obviously. But yeah, I don't really like Death as much.
Okay. Have you listened to their last album, The Sound of Perseverance?
Oh, no, I've only listened to their first album.
Okay. I probably will recommend to you The Sound of Perseverance because that album is insane.
Okay, yeah.
It's the drumming in it is like, so they switch drummers, I think, every single album. And the drummer for that was also previously the drummer for Iced Earth for a couple of their albums.
God, yeah. I mean, I do love Iced Earth's drumming.
Yeah. And he, I would describe his drumming as like, it almost sounds like he's basically like playing a drum solo the whole time. He's got like very Keith Moon in that way, where it's like he almost never just like plays the beat and then plays a fill. He's just like, I'm just fucking doing shit.
Yeah, good.
And that album is so frantic and insane that like because I agree. I'm like other Death albums are good, but I'm not like I don't love them. I don't have them. Like I don't listen to them on any kind of.
They suffer the problem of all originators, which is like someone took what they did and like iterated on it.
But
like, oh, sorry.
But Sound of Perseverance, I don't think anybody's done anything like that, and I don't know if anybody could. It's so I'm going to add that one to my list because I would be remiss if I didn't make you listen to that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else to say about this song?
I mean, yeah, I liked Weight of the Dead too. So actually, I think I really only don't like two songs really.
That's
awesome.
Like
Sleepless Swans and I guess what one? New Moon? No, I like New Moon, right? Yeah. Yeah, I like the most. Yeah. The outro with the choir that like leads into this like more quiet bit for a second, and then like it gets that like kind of like background distortion effect going.
What song?
Weight of the Dead, the last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right at the very end there at 5:30.
Listen. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that almost like that rusty metal sound in the background.
Yeah.
Just like great. You know what it is with this album? I'll say this. I like this band better when they're taking themselves seriously.
That's fair.
It's like,
enough.
I know they're a fun band and like they're having fun and you know they made the little like Twin Peaks jokes in their first, but like when they're like taking their own music seriously, they're like they're doing some impressive stuff that I like.
That's awesome, man.
And I'm not as a fan of their like joke music, as I'm not a fan of any joke music, to be honest.
You're a very serious music listener.
Yeah, I don't like. Let's like Ziltoid the Omniscient, right, from Devin Townsend.
Yeah, that is the one album.
It's that's his weakest album.
I don't. And here's the thing: there's some really good tracks on there, but like I just don't care as much about the Ziltoid stuff as some of his other things.
And like separately as like a comedy sketch, the Ziltoid stuff's kind of funny, but like it by combining it, it's just lessened. Both things are worse.
I agree.
So yes, I liked this album. It was good.
Dude.
I mean, they have a lot of albums, so I'm sure I could find something that's more in my style even. I'm sure there's stuff by this band that I really like.
Yeah.
I just gotta find it.
I mean, they have a lot of stuff. And
yeah,
so there's two
at.
other Death Doom bands that I'm going to have you listen to. Bellacore and October Tide. So I'll recommend those at some point. I might actually recommend
Bellacore.
Ooh, have you listened to Bellacore?
That sounds really familiar. Is it one word?
It's BE apostrophe LAKOR.
No. Okay. Nope.
Yeah. Bellacore of Breath and Bone, like, is just like a fucking roller coaster the whole way through. It's so entertaining and so fucking good, and it's just crazy town.
Oh, God. It's an Australian band?
They're good,
Oh,
man.
boy. Okay. Well, I'm ready for that. Australian death metal. Here I come.
Are they actually... Yeah, wow. I didn't even realize they were Australian. That's hilarious. That's fantastic. So yeah,
I'm trying to think of a way to like make my voice do a like Aussie accent while growling, and I don't think I can make those sounds.
Excellent. I finally recommended a metal band that you liked. Oh my god, I did it.
You did it.
Whatever the fucking sound is of the confetti. That's the sound. Add sound effect.
That was pretty
here.
close, actually.
Thank you.
Close.
I didn't know if that came across. So.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Well, you had to tell me what it was first, but then it was like, yes, that did sound like confetti.
Hell yeah. So, the podcast mixtape.
Number 1.
Podcast mixtape number 1. I'm sure of many more to continue.
Yeah, probably.
So
what'd you think about it?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my lightning round real quick.
Yes.
Just so that we can kind of baseline ourselves for how I felt about this whole album. So I don't think I necessarily disliked any of these on the list. So I'm gonna kind of give it either a thumbs up or a thumbs meh.
Okay.
That's kind of how I feel about it. But first track, meh. So the Jakey, meh.
Yeah. I'll say if we want to do 2 birds with 1 stone here.
Yes.
Did you watch the music video for that song?
I watched some of it.
Some of it. Okay. Cuz that song, unlike every other song on this album, is a song on its own. That song is essentially its music video.
Okay.
And I recommended it more just cuz it's my go-to happy song. Essentially.
Interesting.
And so it's just that's just there because of that, but not really because it's a good song.
Okay.
Right? Because it's like the guy who makes it, Nakey Jakey, is a video game reviewer.
Yes, yeah. So I am familiar with Nakey. I've never watched any of his stuff, but I've heard the name, and I was like, okay, so this is that guy. And I was like, yes. I don't know him because I don't listen to his YouTube show, so I don't really care. So I was like, this is kind of lost on me.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's just a very life affirming. It makes me feel kind of like Mind Game when I watch the music video.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So that's why it's on there. It's just the here it is, this is my playlist kind of thing.
Fair enough. All right. So yeah, I actually that's okay. So that's actually very interesting, and I'm going to talk about something else later that I think is going to put all this into a good perspective, because I think that's what you just said is very important. So next song, the Half Alive song, thumbs up, big thumbs up, huge thumbs up. Holy shit, this got stuck in my head.
Yeah. That's a song I listen to every night for months.
Yeah,
I would just put that on and be like, yeah, this is so good,
dude. Okay, yeah. So we'll get more into it, but huge thumbs up on that one. The Macross song, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yes, digging it.
Nice.
The Lorne song, thumbs up. Even bigger thumbs up for the music video.
Yeah, great. Okay, yeah.
1-800-PAIN, meh.
Okay,
meh.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not bad, but meh. It was interesting.
No, you're right.
I was gonna say it's interesting and funny at parts, but meh.
Yeah.
Masquerade by Sushi.
That's wow. That's a really good guess. I always say just Sue, but I know that's not right.
No, it's definitely Sushi, right? Because it's Sue, as in the Sioux people,
yeah,
and then
you're 100%
and then she.
right.
It's
yeah.
Sushi.
Wow.
So Masquerade. That is a thumbs meh.
Yep, that's fine.
The Sewer Slut track, big thumbs up, like that.
Yeah, good. Yep, you're getting a good score so far.
Okay, cool.
All the songs that are actually good, you're liking, so that's important.
Okay, the Kevin Kemp track, that's a meh.
Sure.
Okay. The Bon Jr. track.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I like that. That's a thumbs up. The Ariana Grande, that's a meh.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I have more to say on that.
Sure.
The Penelope Scott track. That's an honorable mention for I didn't get it the first time around.
Yeah.
And then I got it the second time around, and I felt like an idiot. I was like, this was so obvious. How did I not understand what this was?
Yeah. It's the Portal song, but about fucking
Elon Musk. Yeah, about elongated muskrat. Oh my god, I just got it. Rat. Yeah. Because of elongated musk. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was okay.
Yeah, it's great.
So I'll just say, in fact, I don't have really much to say about that song except for I would probably never listen to it again. It's honestly, even knowing the joke, it's a little I am 14 and this is deep.
Yes.
But
it was, I will say, it's the song I had the hardest time finding a place for, because I just liked the joke.
I like the joke too. I would never listen to it again, but I like the joke. The Sweet Big Promises track, that's a big thumbs up.
Good. Okay.
The Graham Cartner track, that's a big thumbs up.
Nice.
The Gautier fucking trap
mix.
remix.
Yeah.
That's a big math for me.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
And then the Crush by Tessa Violet, that's a big thumbs up for me.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay.
Other than Scream, I pretty much agree with everything you said.
So
and I guess Masquerade, but
okay. let me explain something that I noticed from this, because and I will go out and just say right off the bat that like hip hop, trap, rap, etc. Like, you know, like the entire kind of hip hop genre is like I'm not as familiar with. Right? Like, this is another one where I don't really have, like, the musical language to describe.
You didn't let Nate teach you.
Well, Nate taught me a bit, right? Like, he gave me some things, and we had a lot of discussions about it where I really tried to, like, understand it from, like, a point of view. Like, what I'm supposed to be getting out of it that I'm not getting out of it. But I have, like, and this is true not just for the rap music tracks, but, like, this is true kind of, I think, broadly about music. Is that I think that you can break music very broadly, and not all bands are all one or the other. Some of them are very much both. So I don't think of them as either or. I think of them as like you could probably have neither, but you wouldn't have very good music. And I'm sure you can have both. But I think that generally what I'm going to say is that music either relies on its music or it relies on its lyrics, if it has both. If it has only one, obviously it's relying primarily on its music versus its lyrics. But I think, generally speaking, you like a song or a band because of their lyrics or because of their music. Would you say that is a fair, like, broad generalization?
It's so broad that it's like, sure.
Let me explain what I'm getting at with this. So, like the first track, you mentioned that this is like your happy track, right?
Yeah.
And it's not your happy track because of the music itself. It is because of the content of the song, the lyric of the song, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's the lyrics on that one, yeah.
So if I don't really care about what's being said, it's going to be lost on me because it is relying on that.
Yeah, for Jakey, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, no question. That song is purely lyrics.
And that's the thing. And so, like, you know, I find that, for me at least, like, a lot of hip-hop, and it's not necessarily the case in the ones that you recommended, but I think with hip-hop, a lot of the thing is, I think hip-hop is very primarily, it relies on the lyrics, right? Like, the actual things said in the song, and this is not true broadly, right? Like, I mean, there's things like, there's definitely rap songs that I've heard that are creating a vibe with the music more so than what's physically said, you know?
I would say that what you're saying used to maybe generally be true, like in the 90s or the 80s. But I feel like as time's passed, hip-hop's moved more and more into the zone of like being musical based.
And I think I have that understanding as well. That I think that that's
like mumble rap exists, right?
Yeah, and I think that's something that I just haven't really dipped my toes into. So, like, it's just a genre I don't have the musical language really to describe.
I thought you'd listen to Death Grips.
You've listened to Death Grips. I've listened to a little bit, and I would put Death Grips in that category of it's a musical.
Yeah, well, because it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd say, like, most hip-hop now is that.
Interesting. Okay. And, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'd say there's very, very little lyrical focused hip-hop. Like, and the few bands that I can think of that are not popular. What's his name? Immortal Technique. Right? Like, that guy writes a fucking poem every time he does a song, and, like, no one gives a shit about Immortal Technique.
Really? I thought Immortal Technique was big. Is he not anymore? Is that, like, I thought he was big.
He's like big in the same way that, like, Boards of Canada or Opeth are big.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
right?
That's all I care about.
But, like, I'm talking about, like, because hip-hop is the genre of music that people listen to, right?
Yeah.
So, like, saying you're a popular hip-hop group is, like, that's a big...
No, okay.
That's like saying you're a popular K-pop group.
You're absolutely right, Steven. I totally understand what you're saying. Understand what you're saying.
Then shut the fuck up, because you're not girls' generation.
Yeah. Also, by the way, just a slight aside, the drummer for Death Grips, Zach Hill...
He's amazing. And did Drafts, right?
No, Hella.
Hella, that's right. Yeah, I love... Oh, God, he's so good.
Okay, so you know about Hella. Okay, I don't need to describe it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, hold your horses, man.
Cool.
Cool.
So I
Yes, I don't disagree with what you're saying, though.
Yes.
I think generally something is either lyric or music,
Yes.
and doing both is where you get the best songs.
Yeah, and
Just like TV and movies is like
well,
character development or plot development, but if you're doing both, oh my god, it's so good.
not even necessarily. I'm not even saying that because, like, for instance, right? Like the last podcast, I recommended American football. I would say that American football is, even though they're doing both, I would say that they are relying slightly more heavily on their lyrics than they are relying on their music. They're doing both. Like, both sliders are turned up pretty high, but the lyric slider is turned up just a little bit higher. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sure. I mean, yeah.
Because, I mean,
makes sense to me.
like when you listen to that, you really only got the music portion of it. You didn't really get the lyric portion of it.
Yeah, I got the vocal portion.
Yes.
Just not the lyrical portion. Yeah.
Whereas when I listen to it, like, I enjoy it more because I get the lyrical portion of it. And the lyrical portion of it resonates with me, and that makes me like it more, right?
I will
go ahead.
Well, I agree completely. Because I don't listen to lyrics when I first listen to a song, and I don't listen to lyrics the 20th time I listen to the song, but the 100th time I do. So I actually have the same experience you do, just on a much slower basis, where like the Flower Kings, right? It's like I started liking the Flower Kings, and I'm like, oh, this is a really good band. And then I started listening to their lyrics, and I was like, oh, wow, I also really like the positivity of these lyrics.
Yeah.
Great. You know?
Yeah.
It took me like 2 years of like listening to Flower Kings, every day, right? To ever look into the lyrics.
Fair enough.
But no, I agree. I think that you're making a great point.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to be totally, because it's going to inform a lot of what I talk about for some of this stuff.
Yeah. I think it's very relevant for most of these songs. So yeah.
So, like, going on to like the Half Alive track, right? Mm-hmm. This one for me, primarily a musical. Like, I just, like, it rips and oh my god, does it rip? Like, it's just
and
so
it's one of those songs where the vocals serve the music.
Yes.
Yeah, completely agree. And it's such a banger. I'm just going to listen to it a little bit here.
I know, so am I. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the lyrics are just like another instrument here.
So, like, around like 3 minutes and 20.
Let me get there.
It's like he goes like, I still feel alive.
Yeah, it's like he's a trumpet.
Yeah. And then it's like
he's a trumpet in that moment.
And then he goes up one octave, like, I still feel alive. And I'm like, oh man. It's like, it just fucking rips. And like, I was singing this song constantly. Dude, it's like,
it's so good.
It's just such a banging fucking track. Like, I love that. I mean, it's like fucking like what's that one song that everybody memes, but it's like the Take on Me, It's the same kind of concept, right? It's like just keep going higher and higher and higher, Yeah.
Take all the way.
Take on me, take on me, take me on, take on me. I'll be gone in a day or two.
Ooh, wow, nice. Yeah, and this is the reason I wanted to do the mixtape. Is like none of the other songs that Half Alive have ever done has come even close.
Oh, I know. I listened to their whole album and I was like, fuck, this is so disappointing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they had one good song. And it's like, yep, this one. It's like, I would never, ever recommend anything else by this band.
It's fair enough,
but you
man.
should listen to this.
Yeah. The Macross song was just so, like,
Great.
It's just, like, it's so energetic. And, like, it reminded me a lot of that one guy that you... Against All Logic. Against All Logic, yeah.
Yes.
It, like, reminds so much of that.
Macross 8299 is what started me down the road of, like, discovering house music.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I had it on my iPod from like a decade ago because I had downloaded some anime OST and shoved it on there. And I just like one day in my car, I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this Macross bullshit. And I was like, oh, wait, this is what this is? I love this.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that I should be drifting in my Sprinter Trueno, with in white with the black hood. Like, I mean, that's what this feels like.
And that's exactly what they feel like too, because the album cover is a big windy road.
I know, it's so good. I mean, like, honestly, I don't know if you've ever heard of the game. I think it's called Absolute Drift.
Absolute Drift.
It's like, I feel like this would not be, it's one of the only games I've 100%ed because it's so much fun.
That name is amazing.
Dude, Ultimate Drift is great. It's like a top-down racing game where you just drift.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
top-down.
One of them, and like the soundtrack in that, by the way, you would lose your mind at how fucking good it is. Like, and this would not be out of place on that soundtrack. So
Absolute Drift OST.
Yeah.
Okay, done. I'm gonna listen to that.
Yeah, you absolutely. I think that
because I would love, because I can never find more of this.
It's not exactly this, but it's like it's. Yeah, I mean, it's all in the same. Oh yeah.
Because even the rest of this stuff on the album is not as good as this. I mean, it's close. This one is not as big as a gap. I would recommend Macross 8299 as like a full album, but like this song is the banger.
Yeah, I mean, if you search Absolute Drift City Lights.
Oh yeah, but this has got like a techno feel to it though.
Oh, actually, this isn't the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, because this one's like, I mean, I like the piano bit at the end there, but ooh, I like this Heartbeats one right after. I'm enjoying all these bangers.
There's so many bangers.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm saying bangers so much, but it's just.
But he's gonna keep saying it. He's just gonna keep saying bangers.
Saying it. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying it. It doesn't matter. These are bangers, man. Ooh, Streets of Fire. This is a banger.
Oh, that's what it was. It's Another Night. That's the one. Yeah, it's like around 46 minutes on Another Night.
Wait, is it it's the song Another Night?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Or sorry, for 46 seconds, not 46 minutes. 46 seconds. Okay. Actually, even better is 1:08. But like that whole thing is just fucking. It's okay. Sorry, that was a huge digression. My God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut out so much of this, but like, oh man, that's just like, oof. So, okay, going back.
Yes.
So the Lorne track.
Yeah, if you liked the Lorne track, then do I have a treat for you, because all of their music is like that and it's great.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I don't know what this is like genre-wise.
If you know, tell me, because I have no fucking idea what they are either. But they're great.
Yeah, I mean, like it fits so perfectly with like the music video. Like I don't know what to call this, but I love it.
They're definitely a band. If you listen to them with their music videos, you'll have a great time. Yeah. It's some of the best stuff ever.
And it makes me very.
They have one in particular. It's an award-winning music video. Yeah, Acid Rain.
Okay,
I would just watch that because it's like, it won. I mean, it's just some shitty UK music award show, but
it just makes me so nostalgic for like old anime that was like all fully done, like actually drawn, no computer. I mean, like it's just like, I showed that to Laura and I was like, this is what I'm talking about when I say like old anime was insane and like the poor artists that had to draw this.
Have you watched that movie?
No, I haven't.
Well, you should go check out. It's Neo Tokyo, right?
Yeah,
you should go check out all of it
because it's like a spin-off of the Akira, right?
No. It's a compilation movie of a bunch of like the most famous anime artists, each doing like a 30-minute short.
Oh, really? Okay.
And there's been a number of them actually. I don't know if this is the right one.
It's an anthology film. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this one. There's a couple. Oh yeah, Robot Carnival. I think that's the one. Yeah, Robot Carnival is the one with that one. But you should watch, Neo Tokyo, Robot Carnival, Memories. Oh, and Short Piece. Oh, I haven't watched this one. I need to check this one out myself. But Robot Carnival I think is the one you want.
Interesting.
That or Memories. Fuck, Magnetic Rose, Stink Bomb. Anyway, you should check all three of those out because they're amazing.
Fair
but
enough.
Yes, that's where that music video comes from.
Interesting.
My own diversion.
So 1-800-PAIN, I mean, like, okay, it's amusing. There was a fucking Pokemon reference in there somewhere. Like it's
yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is. It's just a. I mean, I love the fucking like Mexican like gangster dude they got though for the music video.
Yeah. I mean, he's
and so just like hurt. It's one of the songs. It's you know what? I like this song in particular. I put it on here because I feel like it's pure emotion. It's just like, yes, I am angry. This is the song. It's a lot like Scream later on.
Yeah, you're pissed and you want to start swinging.
It's like great. Yeah, just like there's no like the song is not trying to fuck around with me.
Yeah.
There's no hidden depths.
No. And like that's the thing. I took it at face value, and it is at face value, and it's like it's fine, but like I have no reason to listen to it. Like,
yeah.
So then the next the sushi track, I guess like So I think I liked this one. I'm going to contrast this one with Scream in that I feel like Masquerade was like a little bit more interesting. I guess what I find is that like, because I feel like Masquerade and Scream are both trap. Is that?
I have no idea.
Is that okay?
This is anime. This is like weeaboo music. I don't know. Like it's like listening to this makes me like feel like I'm hanging out with like the like stoner kids in high school who like had baggy pants and like chains, and it's like, yeah, man, like fucking what's that? What Fruits Basket is so good. Like you got to watch Fruits Basket. Just like I can picture that conversation listening to this music so well.
Yeah,
and
fair
it's just
enough.
like it's great. It's embarrassing and like cringy, and it fucking bangs.
Yeah, I could see this as being a guilty pleasure song. It's
it's
not my guilty pleasure, but I could see this being a guilty pleasure song.
Yeah. This is the song I thought you were gonna be like, man, I hated this. This is so bad.
It was. I think it was.
It is. It's so bad.
Okay,
but I love it because of that.
So then the Sewer Slut track I loved. Like,
yeah, it's an actually good song. It's proper music.
I'm trying to like. What was the thing that I really wanted to say about this? So like around like a minute 28, where like you have like the vocals come in.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like it's like it's almost got like this like Middle Eastern feel to it that is incredible in like the way that like the lyrics are sung, and it's just like it's so distorted and so in your face, and I love it. This is a great track. Like that's all I have to say. This is a great track.
It's so good, and like these are my favorite kind of lyrics where I can't understand anything. And it's just like it's pure enjoyment of like the art of like the vocal work.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's in English. So,
oh no, it's Japanese. It's another weeaboo song.
Yeah.
It's just a good one, as opposed to like the really bad one that I like.
Also,
although I love all these songs.
Also, I see the problem. The Kevin Kemp song is blocked in my country.
Oh, because you're in Canada.
Yeah,
that
it was working.
It
was working before, but it's now no longer working. So
okay. Yeah, just send me a new link or something. Yeah, I'll put it in there.
Actually, yeah.
Or maybe I guess fuck you because you're in Canada and no one cares.
Yeah, I mean, well, way to just say it like that, but it's true.
Yeah,
that's a link that works. If you want to switch it for that one actually works.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I will.
But I feel like this is also, and I don't know if this is true because again, my musical vocabulary with like subgenres of hip hop, like I understand that like people that like don't listen to metal probably think that I'm talking gobbledygook when I'm talking metal subgenres. Well, I feel like I'm trying to talk gobbledygook when I'm talking hip hop subgenres because I don't understand them the same way.
Is considered hip hop. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't even think of it like that. To me, it's just music.
But this sounds like trap to me. What I understand to be trap, like I feel like Sushi and this are both trap. I think. And what this sounds like to me is like every like random trap song that I've heard. Like this sounds like outrageously generic, I guess, is the thing that I had a problem with this. I was just kind of like
what?
Outrageously generic. It's just like it sounds like
really?
It sounds like if I just like picked like if I just searched trap music on YouTube and just picked like two random bands, I bet they would sound almost exactly like this, is how I feel about it. So
I've never heard anything that sounds like this.
Like even his flow, and like this is the only like rap term that I know. Even his flow to me sounds extremely typical. Like I feel like a ton of
sure. I mean his like that sure that part I would 100% that's really typical, but
like the distortion in the background is basically what you're latching on to.
The music part is like I don't know anyone who like produces music other than like weird black metal artists with this much distortion in it. Like
yeah, I mean, okay.
The song is screaming at you. Literally.
It is literally screaming at you. It just doesn't like I don't know. It doesn't really like because of the way that his flow sounds. I can't unhinge from that. Like I can't uncouple from that like this just sounds like if
you should send me some of that trap music you're listening to because I want to listen to that shit.
You know what?
This is like I'm headbanging so hard to this I can't even help myself.
It'll be hilarious if I'm completely wrong on that, but like to me, to my untrained ears, I guess like this just sounds like all other trap music I've ever heard. So like, and I haven't heard much, but like it just that's what it sounds like to me. So.
I mean, I've heard very like almost no trap.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might be right here. Yeah. I'm listening to like the best trap music mix 2021. Yeah, and it's like his flow is definitely generic.
Okay, and that's I don't feel as crazy then, because that is what I'm latching
Yeah.
onto. Is it just like it just sounds like he just copied every other like
It's
trap
it's just that
artist.
he's like the entire song is screaming, and I like that. And I love the little bit at the end where he like reveals how like he's like an insecure teenager.
Yeah.
And it's just like mwah, just like perfect. Just like the whole song is just like a pure impotent like teenage like rage session. And I love it. It's so like raw and also silly at the same time.
You know how like you like Swallow the Sun when they're taking themselves seriously?
Yeah, yeah. As I was saying those words, I was like, I feel like I've said something like this already.
Yeah. So same. This just doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it. Just it. The song feels like a joke. Is basically what it
Yeah.
is, and that's fine. I just don't care.
Yeah, and I've never listened to anything else by him. I don't. It's like this is something that's caught my eye. I don't think any of the other music is that great, but I don't remember the rest of it. So yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
By Bon Jr.
Yes, we're in the back half of the album.
We're in the
now,
back half
where
of the
it's
album
calmed down a little bit.
This is very chill. It's like almost heartbreakingly crushing.
Yes.
I love it. I don't have much to say about it other than like it's such a vibe.
Oh, great. Well, most of my playlist is filled with music exactly like this. So I have a virtually unlimited amount of this exact kind of feeling.
Yeah.
To give you if you want more.
I mean, it's just like so like it's like so brutal. It's like I don't love you anymore. It's like oh my god.
Exactly.
It's like okay,
Yeah.
cool. It's like and then we're just gonna like chill with this like kind of like slightly minor key like okay, ow.
Yeah, the whole time.
And then, like,
this was my like break song for the album. Just like okay,
And-
we're starting at neutral again.
And like the sound of like what it sounds like somebody picking up their keys and closing the door. It's just like
yeah,
it's just like this is just like fucking like shitty breakup. The song.
yeah. This is music you cry to. It's so great.
It's fantastic. It is such a mood. And I never say that, but I'm saying it now.
That's I mean, thank you. I mean, that's what most of the music I listen to is attempting to mood in some way or another.
It's mood.
So,
It's mood all over
yeah, this
the
is
place.
mood. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a high compliment.
So then the Ariana Grande song.
I'm kind of disappointed you didn't like this, so you better defend yourself.
No, well, so why is this on here? I guess that's what I want to know.
Because it's a fucking banger. I mean, like, it's seriously though. It's like the lyrics are like the vocals are great. The lyrics are fun. Like the actual beat is like amazing. It's like that. Like thank you next. Like that breakdown they do. Just like
I really.
I also wanted. I will say I also want to just be like pop music. Maybe give it a try. It's pretty good sometimes.
I'm not.
Although
here's the
apparently
thing.
that didn't work.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is I'm not against pop music, right? Like, I mean, I've grown as a human being that I'm not against pop
Sure,
music.
I know. Yeah.
But what I found with it, because I mean, like, when I'm in the car with Lauren, like, I mean, she puts on like, like top 40 radio, like that's what she listens to. So I've listened to a shit ton of pop music, whether I want to or not. And what I find all the time is that it's so generic, and this just sounds like I could replace this with like, and actually, I'm going to defend myself a little bit, because when I told Lauren you put an Ariana Grande song on, and I said, oh, he picked Thank You Next, she's like, really, that one? That's the one he picked. So I feel justified that this is not her best song.
May did the same thing to me. One of my roommates, just like she was like, "Oh, what about this one though?" And I was like, "I don't like that one as much though."
And here's the thing: I understand, and I recognize that Ariana Grande is a very talented vocalist. Okay, I understand that, and she's perfectly competent on this song. And there's nothing wrong with her vocals, and there's nothing wrong.
Sure.
The music is all competently made. Okay. But if this was made by two people, I would be like, wow, that's really good. But this is made with a studio full of people and a focus group. I mean, this is the thing that rubs me wrong about this particular song in general, okay? And I'm going to contrast this with the Tessa Violet song, which, at least as far as I know, is either just made by her or made by her and her producer, okay? It's like two people. It might be more, but it's a much smaller. I mean, she's not like the mega fucking $1 billion superstar that Ariana Grande is, right? I mean, that's
I don't know anything about her, so
I mean, I think she was like a YouTuber or something. And then
really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's cool.
Like, and when I was reading about, because I was reading about this song to try to figure out what rubbed me so wrong about it, is like in the making of the song, it's like, she was talking like, you know, like with her, like she's got like a group of people that like, you know, she writes the songs with, right? Like, you know, it's a collaborative effort, and which, I mean, like, pop music is expensive and hard to produce and makes bajillions of dollars, all right? Or at least it makes a lot of money, okay? It's a lucrative thing, like more power to you for making money off your music. I am not going to disparage anybody for getting a payday, all right? Like far be it from me to say that that's a problem. But this to me, this is like a very personal song, right? This is a song that's like very like close to her as a person. This is talking about her actual lived experience as a person, okay? And like even in like discussing the song, right? Like even in like what I read about the song, it's like, I mean, like they focus group this, you know? It's like, oh, should we actually use the real names of like your exes in this? Like, should we do? It's like. This is a song that you write down in your bedroom by yourself. And then, like, you know, maybe you need help. You know, you're not everybody's a producer, right? Not everybody's a musician. You need help writing the beat and, you know, like the actual melody to the song. But it's like, I mean, even the fucking lyrics of this have been focus grouped to death. And it's like, and like, I mean, to be fair, you know, she has an image, right? You know, she's got to protect that. That's part of what makes her money. And again, far be it from me to disparage anybody for getting a payday. I got no problem with that. I want people to continue getting paid to make creative things. That's awesome. But like, it just doesn't hit the same way when it's been shaved away like that. You know, this song probably took like 50 people to make. And then there's all these other songs on the album that either were one person or maybe a handful, you know? And that something to me gets lost. Like if this song had been made by like her and a couple other people, you know, I feel like it would have been a less competently made song, but I also feel like it would have been a better song. That's my problem. I don't think it's a bad song. And in fact, because it's been made by 50 fucking people, of course it's going to be competently made. Of course it is. But like, that's a participation award as far as I'm concerned. You know, sorry, it's a participation award. You know, it's like...
I think you've thought a lot more about pop music than I ever have.
Well, here's the thing. This song, you made me do this.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you... I mean, this is a full-throated defense. And
yeah.
I'm very happy you have such a full-throated defense.
Because it bothered me. Because I was like, there's no reason why... Like, there's other songs on this that, like, I shouldn't not like. You know, it's like, and there's pop music that I do like. There's pop music that I think that does interesting things. And I mean, you know, I'm no stranger to the fact that pop... Like, the people behind pop music... You know, like, they're trying to do interesting things with the music. And oftentimes they do. It's kind of hidden in the mix. But it's very interesting stuff. But like to me, like this could have been replaced by any number of songs, and I would have had the same reaction to it. And that's my diatribe on this. So again, no shade to Ariana Grande. Like I saw like her SNL bit where she was like doing like impressions of other vocalists, and it's crazy fucking impressive. She's a great vocalist. She's a good artist. I just don't think that this is that good of a track. I think this is just a competently made song that you should expect to be competently made because an army of people made it. So you contrast that with the song Crush, which I loved. Okay? Like that song was great, but like to me, that song is so much more interesting and so much more personal because it's like I am at least under the impression, and I'm perfectly able to be.
What if you found out that it was a team of 50 people that did Crush?
Then those 50 people did a great goddamn job of making it sound like an independent artist. You know what I mean? Because like it's just little stuff, like, you know, like the little like phone rings and like the little like sorry, you know, it's like that kind of stuff. It's like those little touches in there that like I'm sure anybody else could do, right? And I'm sure that if anybody else listened to this, they could just copy and make sound great. But like, it's just like, and I watched a version of her do this like on an acoustic, you know, just like her playing a guitar and like singing this, which I also found very interesting, you know? And it's like, I appreciate, because this is pop music, right? I mean, this song is pop music.
I mean,
but it's indie pop.
Yeah.
It's indie pop.
Yeah, it's indie pop. Yeah.
And I just like that more. I like indie pop more because I feel like there is more of the person that made it in the music. And I feel like it comes across. I feel like
if I had, anyway, I didn't know Lauren was subjecting you to pop music in the car, or else I probably wouldn't have recommended this, actually. But I thought like Jason's like listening to fucking like new metal and like like I should put a little like pop music in there that I like to like broaden the horizons a little bit. It's like I didn't know you were like deep in that already because
You want to know what bothers me the most about pop music? Is when I can hear the 808 drum samples in every fucking song, and I'm like, there's the 808 kick, there's the 808 snare. they just
in this one.
I mean, it's not. I don't even. I have to listen again and just pick it out. But it's like there's like I listen to so many pop songs. I'm just like, yep. Yeah. They just download. They just 808 drum sample. Click download. Kick.
So you should probably listen to XXYXX.
Okay.
Because they're like super amazing indie pop. You would love.
Yeah, and I like indie pop, right? Like I'm down with that. Yeah, I mean, shit. Beach House is pop.
Actually, they're a little bit like Lorne too. I'm just gonna put this in the
chat
in the Two Brothers. Yeah, just so you have it because it's just I think you'd like it. I'm not gonna recommend it or anything, but
so feel free to recommend another Ariana Grande song. But
I literally don't know any.
This one,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like
this one didn't
I've
strike
listened
me.
to like this is it. This is the pop music I listened to this year.
Yeah.
So like there you go.
Yeah, I knew this one was going to be the most contentious one, so I was interested to hear why.
I just like the thank you next, thank you next. I just like it's a fun. I like the song. It's a good song.
Excellent.
I don't consider the like production line that is pop music.
Yeah. I just like I felt something was very.
But I think it's valid. I don't because I don't like Neil Morse, right? Because he's like a new age born again Christian, right? And it's like I don't like Neil Morse, and it's like it's like you can have outside opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we already kind of talked about Rat. It was a joke.
I just want to listen to it a little bit real quick.
Yeah.
Scientists and okay, great. I'm happy.
Yeah. I the chiptune bit of it was. I mean, it's like okay, cool.
Yeah. It's the Portal song.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just fun.
Yeah. Little like I said, a little I'm 14 and this is deep, but like, whatever. I'll never have to think about it again.
No, yeah, for sure.
Blue by Sweeping Promises. I like this a lot. It's
you bet your ass you do. It's fucking crushing, but also like catchy.
Is it crushing?
So
what, maybe I wasn't listening to the lyrics.
Oh, I don't listen to lyrics either. Just the voice is like
it reminds me.
Some of that voice is really sad to me.
Interesting. I don't.
What was your impression then?
You know what I mean? Honestly, you know what reminded me of a lot? Is it reminded me in like just in a strange way, and I know this is not a good direct comparison, but it's just like it brought it to mind is like Franz Ferdinand and like the Killers. I was getting that kind of like indie, or I guess early 2000s, maybe late 90s, probably early 2000s like indie vibe. Which I
think got released last year.
I loved that sound, right? And like that's what this kind of it's like that lo-fi kind of sound to it. And it's just I don't know.
I don't think of when I think of Franz Ferdinand, I think of like really overproduced. Not.
And you're probably right. I haven't listened to the Killers.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking about the White Stripes though.
You're thinking of the White Stripes because I haven't listened to
the White Stripes.
I haven't listened to Franz Ferdinand or the Killers like since I don't know, maybe college, maybe not even, maybe since high school. I don't know, but like
you keep recommending the Killers to me, don't you?
Nope.
Oh, well then someone else does because I think I like the Killers because of that. I don't even know how that's happened.
They're fine. Like I don't dislike the Killers. I mean,
I don't know what they sound like though. So I can't like.
Well, there's that one song that like all the British people love. Fucking.
Oh, Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, Mr. Brightside.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Everybody loves Mr. Brightside. Yeah. It's great. So yeah, I mean, I really like. I dig the kind of indie lo-fi vibe of Blue. It's great. Mm-hmm. It's great. What can I say?
Yeah. I love the vocal work, love the guitars.
Yeah. I mean, like for somebody like you who does not like, straight ahead 4-piece rock, this is straight ahead 4-piece rock. So like
yeah. Yeah, it's great.
It's great. Browser History by Graham Cartna.
Graham Cartna, this one's an interesting one because this is one of the ones where I actually do think pretty much all of his songs are good.
Uh-huh.
And I had a real hard time choosing one of them.
Oh yeah, I listened to part of this album and I was like, oh, it's Earthbound music. It's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing else to say. This is Earthbound music.
Yeah.
It's great, and you should listen to it if you like Earthbound music. And if you want to know what Earthbound music listens like, listen to Earthbound and then listen to this. Even the font is kind of Earthbound-y.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like, I mean, like, there's a floppy disk and like empty containers of film.
Yeah.
Like, this is this.
So then the fucking Somebody Used to Know trap remix. It's like,
yeah. It's only on here because of like the like part where it goes like ultra bass at the end.
I found that so poorly done. Like,
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's amazing.
it's like somebody just
someone who
didn't know what
how to
do
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they blew out all the shit. It sounds terrible, and I love it. It's so I don't know what it is about this last part, but I'm just like, yes.
Fair enough.
It's just like it sounds so grungy. I feel like I'm like in the slime pit right now.
I don't know if you did this on purpose, but I assume that it was on purpose, that there are multiple
Berserk.
Yeah,
Berserk.
there was multiple Berserk references, because this was obviously, I mean, it's Guts, right? There he is.
Yeah.
But apparently, and I don't know this because I've never watched the anime, but apparently the Jakey video uses a sample from the Berserk anime.
Oh, that's news to me. Oh no, it does. Yeah, of course. That's Haruhi Suzumiya right there. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I do immediately recognize that.
So I did not know, but I was like, oh man, Steven's throwing around a lot of Berserk references.
No,
So that's
that was nope.
Yes.
Not at all. I should put Haruhi Suzumiya on this for you to listen to though, because you've seen Paprika though, right?
No, I need to. It's on my list.
Unacceptable. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah. So then the final song.
Yes.
I know we talked about it already a little bit. "Crush" by Tessa Violet. What I love about this is like it's just the like the start stop kind of like
yes.
like feel of it. Like, you know, it's just got these little, it's so minimal, you know, it's like, it's so minimalistic and it just hits perfectly. And it's like, it's such a delicate song, you know, like in comparison to like, again, not to continue beating a dead horse over here, but it's like Thank You Next is so like, it's so just like it, yeah. It's just such a track, you know. And then
there's a reason this is the last song on the mixtape. Yeah. Right. It's like, this could be the whole mixtape. Really. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is a good one.
It's really good, you know, and it's just like, and like when it comes in, even in the chorus, it still has that like start stop. It's just like they turn it up a little bit. It's like, you know, ba ba, you know, instead of ba ba. Like, it's like, instead of being very like short and staccato, it's like, it just like, it hits you with the bass. But again, it's just like it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't overstate.
It's staccato. It's staccato while somehow also being legato, right?
Yeah.
Like that's hard. They're fucking doing circular breathing.
Yeah.
But for a song, because it never stops, but it also is constantly like giving you those little bumps.
Yeah, it's just like it's you can't help but like bob your head a little bit to it, you know? Like, it just like exactly. it grabs you in a way that like almost to the degree that like the Half Alive song.
Touch.
Yeah.
I can feel your crush. Yeah, it's the actual like legitimate music version of what the joke song that Penelope Scott did.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great.
But yeah, no, and I love I love the little phone ring, you know, thing. It's like, I mean, all the, and that's the thing. It's just like, it's just little bitty touches that, like, again, you know, any big studio could perfectly capably do. You know, it's like, I mean, pop music is no stranger to like little samples and layering and all that shit. Like, they're not, you know, like this is something that could very easily be produced, but like I just almost feel like they wouldn't, you know, like,
no, I actually disagree. I don't think they could produce something like this. Someone would try to do something extra.
That's what I mean. I feel like this is like somebody had enough restraint to be like, this is enough, you know, like, I don't know how much she personally is responsible. It seems like she like makes these tracks. Like, I don't know who else is involved in this, but like at least from the digging that I tried to do on this, like, I don't know how much anybody else is really involved except for her in making these. I think she has a producer, and I don't know what that producer does necessarily, like, versus what she does in the writing of this, but like, it seems like this is either one or two people, and they're being very restrained in what they're trying to do. And it's just like that, and that's the thing, right? That's my big takeaway from a lot of this stuff is like, I don't always appreciate what one or two people are going to do, but I almost always appreciate what one or two people are going to do more than what a team of 50 people are going to do. A lot of the time, the music suffers the more people you throw at it. It gets more competent, it gets better made, but something is lost in the kind of like individual impurities and like inaccuracies of making music with a small team of people, or even just a couple, or even just yourself. You know, nothing nothing is ever going to shine through quite as brightly as just one person just doing the thing that they think is best. That's how I feel. And
do you feel better now?
I do feel better now. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I'm not saying, this is not a pop music is bad. If pop music is your favorite music, like, that's cool.
I mean, that's kind of what you're saying. That's kind of exactly what you're saying. Let's be honest.
I know.
And it's like I guess two things.
Go ahead.
As to say to this.
Yes.
First off is like, you're doing a lot, you're getting involved in like figuring out production and stuff.
Yes.
Like, pop music is where the production is always the best. Like, if you want to learn how to do production, you should listen to more pop music.
Yes.
Because like, they're the experts. And two, it's like, yeah, sure, like, the individualism is lost, but like, it's like, I don't really care that much about pop music, so it's like, I don't want to like seem like I'm doing too full-throated of a defense here, but like, yeah, like, it is music by committee, and isn't that kind of also interesting? That's like, this is the product of like careful calculation and planning, and like, this is what, and it's like, you still get like a pretty good song out of it. Like, it's like, I don't know. There's something in the exact way that you find it like offensive. It's like, I don't care enough to be offended, so it's kind of just like, oh yeah, cool. It's music by committee. That has its own like style and purpose, essentially. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna just say I don't think that pop music is bad, right?
You just don't think it is as good as regular music.
I think that, and I'm not. Yes, I mean, like, I know that.
Yeah,
I know that it sounds like that's what I'm saying. I guess what I'm saying is, I feel like when I listen to pop music, there's something about it oftentimes that just doesn't click with me, and that's what doesn't click with me. You know,
sure,
that's the thing that doesn't click with me. And if that clicks with you, Godspeed. You know, like, but I feel like you could probably find something by somebody a little bit more out of the industry, you know, that isn't so like doesn't have like that team of people next to them that makes something that you like more. That's what I think. I don't know if that's true, and I might be totally wrong on that, but that's my feeling. I feel like that just like the more cooks in the kitchen, the like something does end up getting lost. But yeah. I guess.
But can anything be possibly gained, or is it just loss?
Oh no, I mean, what you gain is you gain professionalism and like competence and good production and sound quality. You know, like it's not an only loss, right? You know, if it was an only loss, nobody would listen to it. There's definitely something gained there. It's just like, I guess I value the individual artistic expression of people, the raw artistic expression of people, more than good production value. Good production value is good. People wouldn't spend tons of money getting good producers and good, you know, studios and like all these people working on their shit if like it made their music worse. But like, if what you're valuing is the individual voice of a particular artist, it's harder, not impossible to find, right? But harder to find in pop music than it is in indie music. So
that's interesting. Individual voice, that's something I never consider, is the individual voice of the artist. I don't really
care.
That's interesting. It's a way to think of it.
Yeah. And that's because like I went into this trying on purpose to like that track, and I just couldn't, and so it drove me nuts trying to figure out.
No.
Yeah.
That's a bad way to start in the first place.
Because I didn't want to.
I always like to start from a place of like,
I didn't want to go into this of just like pop music bad, because it's low hanging fruit. It's too easy.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
I wanted to be like, why? I wanted to figure out. I was like, why is this on the list?
Okay.
And
here,
go ahead.
Can we do this?
Yes.
Forget that song is there.
Yes.
And go listen to "Save Your Tears" by The Weeknd.
Okay.
Because that would have been the song I would have put on, and it was on, and I was like, oh, this is kind of similar to some of the other stuff. I don't want to, I'll put the Ariana Grande, and I'll remove this. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have done the other thing.
I'm just listening to it real quick. I need to actually sit down and like really listen to this instead of just like skip through, because I feel like something's getting lost there.
Listen to like the part like from 1 minute to a minute like 45, and that'll get you what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, it's still a little bit generic, but I like it more.
Well, and I'll also say that he is a singer-songwriter producer.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Like
That's fine. I just like it still sounds a little bit generic to me, but I like I said, I like
Well, it's
it
pop
more.
music. Yeah, it's like I think this one has a little bit more of those touches. It's a little less because listening again to the Ariana Grande song, I agree. There was a little less depth than I remember, whereas this one has a little bit of depth. I still like the Ariana Grande song.
Yeah,
but...
and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But like, is it your favorite song of all time?
No, but I mean, none of the songs on that album are my favorite songs of all time either.
Exactly.
So.
You know,
I don't know if do you have a favorite song of all time?
I mean, if I'm asked about what my favorite song is, I think that I still will say that it is "Sleeping in Traffic" by Beardfish.
And I actually lied because I immediately thought of what mine was as well. So,
which is
"As the World" by Flower Kings.
Oh, which is a great fucking track as well.
Or wait a second, not "As the World." I'm confusing two things.
That's Ekelin, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, I do mean the Flower Kings one though. It's like I'm saying it's my favorite song and I can't even remember it.
I think I know what song you're talking about though.
Terrible. That's so terrible. The first song in Adam and Eve, "Love Supreme." Oh my god, how could I forget "Love Supreme"? That's the fucking.
It's a great track.
John Coltrane song, which I also love.
It's a great track. It's an amazing track.
Yes, it's that one.
Also, holy fuck, dude! Holy fuck! This has been a long podcast.
Is it,
dude?
Oh shit! Wow, we went another hour.
We went another hour, and I think each of the other ones were like almost an hour each.
3 hours. Yeah. Well, we got a lot to cut out though. We did spend some downtime.
That's true. We did sit there for like many minutes listening to shit. So maybe this
was long.
Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but oh boy, this is.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's cool, dude. This will be a good opportunity for me to improve my workflow and maybe try and use that remove silence tool in Audacity and figure out how to get that to work properly.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, but so okay. I will say, so of your mixtape, like I said, I probably liked about half of these tracks. I didn't dislike, and like I said, even the Ariana Grande track, I didn't dislike it. You know, I just didn't. Yeah. I just wasn't
you
like
didn't fall in love with it. Yeah.
I didn't love it. You know, I think the only track that I could say that I might fall into the realm of dislike was the first one. I was like,
sure, yeah.
It's like this is just a generic fucking song, like, and I don't care about Nakey Jakey. So
I would say if you want, you could watch the rest of the music video.
Okay.
And like, because it's just like, you know, it's the same thing as like some of the other songs on the album where it's like it reminds me of like teenage like mindset.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop watching. It was too.
Yeah, okay.
I was too.
It reminds me.
I was too cringed by it.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of your cringe days, and it's like, but it's like he's proud of the cringe, and it's heartwarming to be proud of your cringe.
Yeah,
it's like nice.
That's cool. You know, I just
Yeah, but it's not a good song. It's not a good song.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no question there.
Oh man, this is a good fucking podcast, man. Holy shit.
Great.
I'm gonna be so tired at this. Hey everybody, you know, when you hear this, it might be later than usual because it might take me a really long time to edit this one.
So let's stop now.
Okay, sounds good. Stop it now.
Yeah.